ब्याक ब्याक सर्चहरु कनेक्सन नै देखाइएको छ एउटा राम्रो ड्यामेज डिल गरेको हामी देख्न पाउँछौँ एजेन्टको तर्फबाट पनि अनम लामालाई एकदमै ट्रबल पर्न सक्छ के कसो विश्व
हाई ग्राउन्डमा अनम लामालाई पनि एकदमै मुस्किल एन्ड लुक एट व्हाट ड्र्यागो फेरि पनि रिभाइभ हुन्छ सो फेरि पनि 4 म्यानको शटमा अब आउँछन् यहाँ एन्ड राइट सो यहाँ अनम लामाको प्लेलाई इन्स्टेन्ट फिनिस हुन्छ अब हाई भोल्टेज भर्सेस विब्रोज अब विब्रोजको लागि त यहाँ आज फुल एउटा एग्रेसन देखाउँछन् एन्ड ओके भन्दा यहाँ सरप्राइजिङली लुरेको तर्फबाट एउटा राम्रो गन पावर देखाउँछन् यहाँ एउटा राम्रो नकआउट यहाँ ब्याक प्लेयरहरू पनि देख्न आउँछ स्टकरको एउटा राम्रो स्नाइपिङ कनेक्सन यहाँ 30 किल्स बिन सेक्युर्ड एन्ड लास्ट मैन अब हाई भोल्टेज है बाकी एन्ड
अब मात्र बाकी 2v1v1 को ब्याटल रहनेवाला छ भने अब लेट्स सी के हुनेवाला छ द्याट्स गोना बी द एलिमिनेसन फर टिम विब्रोज को लागि एलिमिनेसन फेस आउट गरेको छ
फल ब्याक गर्दै गरेको पनि देख्न सक्छौँ र अचिपको तर्फबाट के कति गर्छ नउग्रेस सर्चहरु पनि तर हेर्दा अहिलेको लागि पनि अर्जुन अगाडि बढेको छ भने 60 डाउन अहिलेको लागि डाउन भइसकेको छ र थापालाई पनि इन्स्टेन्टली डाउन गर्दै फिनिश अप पनि गरिसकेको हामी देख्न सक्छौँ भने सुधीर पनि अहिलेको लागि डाउन भइसकेको छ ओ माय गॉड
ओके त्यहाँ रहेको थियो 1v2 हान्नु भएको छ अर्जुनले भने सर्टगनको साथमा हुनुहुन्छ राइट ह्यान्ड साइड तर्फ एचिभ रिभाइभ गर्न आउँछन् द्याट्स गोना बी एलिमिनेसन
फ्री फायर नेपाल च्याम्पियनशिपमा जति पनि हाम्रो नेपाली प्रो टिमहरू क्वालिफाई हुनुभएको छ उहाँहरू प्रतिस्पर्धा गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ फर द फर्स्ट टाइम इन अल्पान आइ एम सो एक्साइटेड आई होप हजुरहरू पनि एक्साइटेड हुनुहुन्छ यदि हजुरहरू पनि आफ्नो टिमलाई सपोर्ट गर्न चाहनुहुन्छ अथवा आफ्नो फेभरेट प्लेयरलाई सपोर्ट गर्न चाहनुहुन्छ भने लाइभ जोइन गर्न नभुल्नुहोला लाइभ चाहिँ हाम्रो फ्री फायर नेपाल अफिसियल युट्युब च्यानलमा हुनेछ 6 PM फ्राइडे टु सन्डे थ्याङ्क यू धन्यवाद
हेलो एन्ड नमस्ते सर्भाइभर्स हजुरहरू सबैलाई फ्री फायर नेपाल च्याम्पियनशिप 2022 मा स्वागत छ यो हाम्रो पहिलो ठुलो पाइला नेपाल इस्पोर्ट्सको तर्फ रहेको छ अब हामी कुरा गर्नेछौँ फ्री फायर नेपाल च्याम्पियनशिप 2022 को फर्म्याट तर्फ यो टुर्नामेन्ट 4 चरणमा विभाजित गराइएको छ जुन 2 महिनासम्म हुनेछ ओपन क्वालिफायर्स लिग स्टेज प्ले-इन्स ग्रान्ड फाइनल्स ओपन क्वालिफायर्स 4 वटा राउन्डमा विभाजित गराइएको छ पहिलो राउन्डमा टिमहरू 12 ग्रुप्समा विभाजित गरिएको छ हरेक ग्रुपलाई एउटा म्याच मात्रै खेलाइनेछ र हरेक ग्रुपको सबैभन्दा धेरै पोइन्ट्स लिएर आउने एउटा टिम मात्रै अर्को राउन्ड जानेछ दोस्रो राउन्डमा पहिलो राउन्डमा जस्तै फर्म्याट हुनेछ तर यसपालि भने 2 वटा म्याच खेलाइनेछ जसबाट टप 2 टिम्स जसले धेरै पोइन्ट्स लिएर आउने टिम्सहरू अर्को राउन्डमा जानेछ तेस्रो राउन्डमा टिम्सहरूलाई 2 वटा ग्रुपमा विभाजित गरिनेछ यसमा भने हरेक टिम्सहरूले 6 वटा म्याचेस खेल्नेछ टप 6 टिम्सहरू जसले धेरै पोइन्ट्स लिएर आएको टिम्सहरू ओपन क्वालिफायर्सको अन्तिम राउन्डतर्फ जानेछ चौथो राउन्डमा 12 टिम्सहरू एकअर्कामा युद्ध गर्नेछ जहाँ 6वटा म्याच खेलाइनेछ र त्यसबाट थाहा हुनेछ कि कुन टिमले लिग स्टेजमा कुन ठाउँ लिनेछ भनेर। ओपन क्वालिफायर्सबाट आएको 12 टिम्सहरू जसले अब लिग स्टेजमा फ्री फायर नेपाल इन्भिटेसनल 2022 को टप 6 टिम्सहरूसँग भिड्नेछ र यो टिम्सहरूलाई 3वटा ग्रुप्समा उहाँहरूको र्याङ्किङ अनुसारले विभाजित गराइनेछ। यो 3 ग्रुप्समा विभाजित गराइएको टिम्सहरू 2 हप्ताभित्र जहाँ 6 दिनको लागि एकअर्कामा भिड्नेछ। कुल मिलाएर 6 टिम्सहरू मात्रै ग्रान्ड फाइनल्सलाई जानेछ। बाँकी रहेको 12 टिम्सहरू प्लेन्सको तर्फ लाग्नेछ। यी 12 टिम्सहरूले 8 म्याचेस खेल्नेछन्। प्लेन्सबाट टप 6 टिम्स ग्रान्ड फाइनल्सको लागि जानेछ। ग्रान्ड फाइनल्समा फ्री फायर नेपाल च्याम्पियनसिपको विजेता बन्न र साथसाथै आफ्नो रिजनको उत्कृष्ट बन्नको लागि लिग स्टेज र प्लेन्सबाट टप 12 टिम्सहरू संयुक्त गरी एकअर्कामा भिड्नेछ।
वेपन छैन, अब यहाँ लुका छुपी चलिरहेको छ एन्ड यस अब डुअटाई सिचुएसन छ, केही छैन, हातमा पिस छ, पिस नै भए पनि हान्छु, जे पर्ला पर्ला मरि
मुभ्सहरू के कस्तो पनि ब्याक टु ब्याक ग्रेनेडको प्रहार गर्ने कोसिस गरेर मेक्सको तर्फबाट ओके वाल फुटाइसकेको छ र ओ माय गॉड मेक्स खुस्दै वाला छ र इन्स्ट्यान्टली डाउन गरिन्छ मेक्सको तर्फबाट र इन्स्ट्यान्टली आफ्नो टिममेट्स आफूसँग हुनुपर्ने तर भन्दा भन्दै सुधीरलाई डाउन गरिन्छ र इन्स्ट्यान्टली फिनिस अप ओके स्टल्करलाई पनि स्पट आउट गर्छ न इन्स्ट्यान्टली ह्यासट्याग कोमा फिनिस अप गरिसक्यो हामी देख्न सक्छौँ भने नारुतो पनि एकदमै ट्रबलमा र ब्याक टु ब्याक लन्चरहरू प्रहार गरिन्छ र इन्स्ट्यान्टली नकडाउन गरिसकेको छ र प्रथम लास्टमा स्ट्यान्डिङ र जेटीलाई अहिले पाइलिङको लागि होल्ड आउट गर्दै गरेको देख्न सक्छौँ। स्टल्कर डाउन भइसक्यो ओ माय गॉड विब्रोजको पनि फाइट परिसक्यो हामी देख्न सक्छौँ। अहिलेको लागि भने हाई भोल्टेजलाई एलिमिनेट गर्दै ह्यासट्याग 11
भएको छ। विब्रोजको लागि अर्को पनि प्लेस लुज भएको छ। अब मात्र बाँकी विब्रोजको लागि 2टा प्लेस रहनेवाला छ जहाँ रोहित रहने छ भने सुप्रिम रहनेछ। यी 2टाबाट कुनै गर्ने हुन्छ एज ट्र्याक हो लुज भएको थियो डिभाइड गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। ओके द्याट्स गोना बी नो एन्ड फिनिश अप।
एउटा जुन हिसाबमा उहाँले गेट किटको सिनारियो क्रिएट गरिएको हामी देख्न सकिन्छ र एजन ब्याक टु ब्याक सर्ट कनेक्सन देखाउँछन्। साहिललाई पनि डाउन र फेरि पनि ब्याक टु ब्याक सर्टहरू कनेक्सनलाई देखाइएको छ। एउटा राम्रो ड्यामेज डिल गरिएको हामी देख्न आउँछन्। एजनको तर्फबाट पनि अनम लामालाई एकदमै ट्रबल पर्न सक्छ। कसो विश्व
हाई ग्राउन्डमा अनम लामालाई पनि एकदमै मुस्किल एन्ड लुक एट वाट ड्रागो फेरि पनि रिभाइभ हुन्छ। सो फेरि पनि 4 म्यानको शटमा अब आउँछन् यहाँ एन्ड राइट। सो यहाँ अनम लामाको प्लेयरलाई इन्स्टेन्ट फिनिस हुन्छ। अब हाई भोल्टेज भर्सेस विब्रोज। अब विब्रोजको लागि त यहाँ आज फुल एउटा एग्रेसन देखाउँछन् एन्ड ओके भन्दा यहाँ सरप्राइजिङली युरेको तर्फबाट एउटा राम्रो गन पावर देखाउँछन्। यहाँ एउटा राम्रो नकआउट यहाँ ब्याक टु ब्याक प्लेयरहरू पनि देख्न आउँछ। स्टकरको एउटा राम्रो स्नाइपिङ कनेक्सन यहाँ 30 किल्स बिन सेक्युर्ड एन्ड लास्ट मेन अब हाई भोल्टेज है बाँकी एन्ड
अब मात्र बाँकी 2v1v1 को ब्याटल रहनेवाला छ भने अब लेट्स सी के हुनेवाला छ। द्याट्स गोना बी द एलिमिनेसन फर टिम विब्रोजको लागि एलिमिनेसन फेस आउट गरेको छ।
अलिकति फल ब्याक गर्दै गरेको पनि देख्न सक्छौँ र अचिपको तर्फबाट के गर्छ।
Well, we're back, aren't we? It was an exhilarating week one, Tanya, and with the way the last weekend went, my weekday felt a little pale in comparison. And boy, oh boy, is it Friday. The weekend's coming over yet again, and we're back with more Free Fire action, ladies and gentlemen. How you been feeling, Tanya? What are you expecting from today?
Well, definitely, as the days are shrinking, the stakes are getting higher. So that is what exactly I'm feeling. Because talking about the day particularly, which is day 4, top 3 teams, the only 3 teams who are above the scoreline of 250 are going to compete against each other. Sure, we bros had a very strong start, but now it is going to be Anam Lama closing in as much as possible. And then talking about high voltage, they are doing amazingly well. We are going to talk about the teams real soon. Let's talk about the tournament format.
Yeah, it started off with an open qualifier all the way back in the 9th of June, and it progressed till the 15th of June. Now we're at the league stage, and we're at the last week of the league stage, Tanya. This is when teams really need to start performing, especially those teams who have been slogging off, right? Notable names are T2K, even teams like BetX, for example. They performed decently in, what was it, day 2, but we've not seen a whole lot of that same kind of brilliance being replicated over the league stage, and you need to replicate those kind of performances over the league stage if you have any chance of hitting not only that winner and the champion slot, but also getting a lion's share of this huge prize pool, right? The champion walks away with 5 lakh Nepali rupees, and that's certainly got to be a nice feeling in the bank. But what's more important is, Tanya, in one of the biggest events, actually the biggest event in Nepal so far, a lot of these teams are going to be vying for hitting those top 6 slots to make sure that they get consistency down the road this year, because Garena sure are looking to do more.
Sure, this is just the start for the official tournaments for the Free Fire Championship tournaments for Nepal, and they are going to make sure they increase the prize pool, they increase more of the tournaments. But talking about this current tournament and the score, total points distribution, the team to take away Booyah is going to take away 12 points. Now these 12 points are very, very important, and until position 10, you are at least going to grab away +1. But each kill is also 1 point. And now again, we are heading towards the previous days where kills were counted more preciously compared to placement points. Now once again, due to the resurrection coming into the action, the teams are focusing more on kills. Today, which teams are we going to focus on? Today, which teams are going to battle against each other? These are the total of 12 teams, and my eyes are going to still stick on We Bros, High Voltage, Anam Lama, and sure, we are going to see some comeback stories written without a doubt, because certainly they are going to make sure they are going to bring the best out of them. We Bros, Kukri, Chandra Surya, Sripach, Anam Lama Esports, Beg for Mercy standing in Group A. Talking about Group B, we have Moonlight, High Voltage, Lone Wolves, Netstar Esports, Senura Gaming Esports, and Team Reunite. Talking about these 12 teams, I believe Team Reunite haven't been able to put up best show. Today might be the day.
Yeah, you talked about back in ye old days, right, when teams used to play more towards skill points and not really give a damn if they get a booyah or not. They just want to hit maybe that top 4 in that process. And a team that's been doing that a lot is High Voltage, Tanya. I think throughout the initial week they had maybe 1 booyah, something like that, but they're still way ahead in that scoreboard. If I'm not wrong, I think they're in position 2 right now. So with the amount of consistency that they've managed to net on the back of having these skill hungry players and their entire instincts surrounding that gameplay, yeah, it's a thing to see. I think it was SE, I'm not 100% sure, but I still remember High Voltage hunting one team, I think 4 times in one map, Tanya. That is just brutal, and I think we're gonna get to see a whole lot more of that today.
And we are going to talk about the total standings according to map. Dregog has scored the highest. Well, the total of the team kills are going to be 172, but Dregog is still the highest point bagger for the team. High Voltage, they have been already pushed down, and it is going to be Poison with a total score line of 84. And if we have a map-to-map comparison, BitX have been performing very good on the map of Purgatory, and talking about WB, they are performing very good on the map of Kalahari. But still, don't you see something? Anam Lama, they were just about playing average on day 1, and on day 3 they just switched. I don't know what button did they turn on, but whatever they are doing, they are not only aggressing in terms of grabbing those booyahs, but also trying to accelerate the speed of grabbing those kills. But let's see who is going to speed up the most.
Dude, I was just looking at the player cam for Beg for Mercy. I think he's a little sleepy. Needs to get a little coffee in his veins, eh? I think everybody here are going to be reliant on a decent start to this day. It's an important day because this is the last day, like we said, of that league stage, right? It's pivotal that these teams eye for the top two in their group respectively to then directly qualify to that grand finals, or there's a grueling play-in waiting for them, and that's a position that no team would like to be in. This time though, let's talk about the playing path. First game of the day, it's going all the way from north to the south, almost dissecting the map. Although with this kind of a playing path, I don't see any teams having a problem reaching that desired landing spot, and we're going to get a lot of intentional early crash landings, if it even may be so, because we see a lot of teams moving on towards that left-hand side of the map, towards Crit and towards the mill, so we're going to be able to get a lot of action off the bat. I think the circle this time around is going to be interesting.
This is going to be very, very interesting. And as soon as we talk about interest for Lone Wolves is already initiated. They were willing to get a frag. Indeed, they are facing a knock. Neon is down on the knees. Will he be resurrected? But before that, look at the chrono. Giving a cover for a while. No weapon whatsoever. But ultimately, it is going to be Xeon with this pass. Not only getting a knock, but also confirming with double pistol. Thapa is also going to do it. And Sandura Gaming starts the day for themselves in a strong manner, because it is hardly a minute and 2 frags are already down and taken against Lone Wolves. So Mill is never too safe.
Yeah, SE are a team that didn't really have a great performance in week 1. They were not able to bounce back from what was a rocky affair. It's good that they're getting off to a flying start now. I want to see more of this from SE. Although, again, like we said, that revival mechanism, right? So you never really have to suffer the full casualty of a player going down. You can always get him back up on his feet. It seems like Webros are in a similar circumstance, but they've lost one member early on, and they've still decided to group up together. And CHS, they're very, very well split, so it's wise for them if they do not proceed with this fight, as Webros will be able to get that revive back up on Supreme, who was the MVP for Webros, if I'm not mistaken, on a couple of maps where they did take the Booyah in the bag, alongside a decent bit of points. Webros, near Observatory. In your opinion, Tanya, with the way this recent tournament has been going, we've gotten to see a lot of vanilla circles, and we've gotten to see a couple of unique circles, right? Is there any circle, especially on this map, that you actually eye out for?
Well, I would definitely love to have a water route inclusive. We have seen those days, we have seen those circles, and for now water routes are inclusive. But where will it end? With a dam, a part of dam inclusive, a little bit of water route near to the southern island, not only that but also near to the eastern part. But now here it is going to be Lone Wolves again. The player just resurrected is picking up the battle, which isn't going to be very safe. Chrono ability! And the chrono ability was deployed right on time, coming in from Moonlight Esports. This is the team we did not talk much about for the start, but they are going to force us with the amount of frags they're going to start to take.
Yeah, and I guess this is a team that's also made quite a bit of their name in this Nepal championship so far. So they're going to look to continue it. Moonlight, they're looking strong, and this is LW. If I'm not mistaken, LW were the team that did suffer the first loss in the server. So, boy, oh boy, the troubles just keep on mounting. Like you said, the stakes are higher, Tanya, and this time I think they're just here to finish up the deed. Any team that's left stranded, any team that's left a man down, even maybe 2 man down, you're never really safe in these kind of rotation routes. You need to find either a perfect drop location with either a vending machine or the way to resurrect, or you need to find a way that you rotate around without bothering points of interest, and that's something LW were simply not able to do. Hence, they face the consequences. On the other side, this is gonna be True taking on... Who is it? It's Back for Mercy, and it's a very aggressive stand taken by the other. Look at the split approach from Back for Mercy. They have the sidelines and the front lines covered. This is truly a rough situation for Reunite to be in, and they're trying to reunite in this mess.
Will they successfully reunite after losing a player? Will they be able to resurrect? And now here it is going to be the throwables coming to the action again. Yeah, sure, they are moving out of battle. They want to survive, and this is one of the teams that I talked about couldn't perform during week 1. Let's hope they are going to be the game changer.
What?
As soon as I say that, Chetri with the perfect aim. I don't know how, in what manner was that action, hopping in with the AR. He manages to successfully get a knock, and followed by a confirmation back from Mercy with 2 frags and 2 players lost, and Team Reunited will be decimated on position 12. With with no hopes of being alive. Now this is what the exact entire elimination is. You don't allow a single player to escape out of you.
Yep. Unless you're high voltage, then you just farm them as they respawn. And we got to see high voltage on our screen, so I'm just waiting to see them in action. Meanwhile, we're going to continue to see Moonlight just firing on all cylinders. And for now, one of their cylinders, one of their most important men, is taken down. That being Superman. Superman, again, another MVP from week 1, looking to make his week 2 performance even stronger. And it's SE all the way in that high ground, a team that's eyeing for revenge, a team that's eyeing for a comeback, and what a fashion that they could do it in. If they're able to take Moonlight off the server in such a fashion, just with a straight up brawl, this will be a statement and a testament to why they're here in this Nepal Championship. Meanwhile, we'll see high voltage off the server, off the screen for now, opening their account. So high voltage, they are absolutely, did they squad wipe an entire team as we talked about the other fight? Wow, alright. Talk about getting back in action. Guys know exactly how to do it as they make an entrance into the server. S5 looking to do the same, and it's ALE. Alright, a lot of big dogs suffering a lot of big problems now, Tanya.
Sure, and another Esports, they performed amazingly well for the second day that they performed during League Week 1. And today, now Sweetbutt is trying to use all the advantage of the height that they possess, and they have to make sure they use that advantage. They managed to go for the rotation such a pattern that they are having that. And Blimp is also nearing around, so they're going to look forward to gain whatever is available into the box. But before that, we do see a crash. It was a car crash,
dude.
and no way. Well, you were looking forward for the high voltage action. 5 flags already. Poison, the top fragger of the entire tournament, has been taken down, and Beg for Mercy is also decimated. 6 frags for high voltage, but vending machine is very nearby, so shouldn't be the cause of concern, at least not yet.
Yeah, not at all. Poison's back on his feet. He should be able to get all his loot back. Oh, Lone Wolf. This is the last remaining member. Ay. That is sad. We bros just rotated in, got a cookie point, and they're pretty happy with what they've gotten. S5 got a kill as well, which I think we did see on screen. And a lot of teams are snapping away these small kill points, Tanya. We've seen entire championships being decided by the margin of a point or two. So, for all they're concerned, that is a point closer to potentially getting that slot to the grand finals. And I love that a lot of these teams have now translated how they play the game, right? At least in week 1, I remember seeing a lot of teams that had 0 kills, all the way up to maybe the second last circle. Right now, that case has changed, Tanya, and it's visible across the server. The means of these rats trying to go in and get information now is very, very inefficient, as they will be punished, as more teams are looking to deliver that punish. And over in this northern crescent of the circle, we see 2 big dogs and a underdog looking to make their name back up in week 2. This is going to be an amazing brawl if you do get a witnesses as we approach the triangle of death.
And Sanura going to be Esports might need to make move here between the pattern and between the bread. Let's see how the guns are going to perform here, because they're going to make sure to push. The vehicles are almost about to get exploded, but the players are unharmed. And the best part is they are not attacked. They are left with they are not delivered tacking up to any bit of damage. They're still roaring in with the vehicles. The vehicles are again facing the same. Last round
What?
but on the
Zepu's
first
dead?
Rohit. Ooh, it was a 360 flip coming in from Rohit, and he's successfully taking down one player, revived without a doubt. But that knock, well, that was a haunt.
Well, it allows them to turn this fight, Tanya, and I think that's the more important thing, right? The fact that they were rotating out and they were being just preyed upon out in the open, the fact that they're able to get this kill in and of itself is a big thing. It buys them a little bit of breathing room, it buys them a little bit of space, which is real good. Now they can maybe avoid this fight that SE were looking to force. And SE also need to be worried, right? Because if they have their back turned towards this fight for quite a while, you never know when another party emerges to just stab you in the back. That's exactly where you would not want to be stabbed. So they avoid that fight. That triangle of death is dismantled. Cool. And we yet again return to somewhat of a stalemate, as a lot of these teams are now making the important move into the circle, which will decide their fate and how the zone maybe screws them over. We're still yet to see. And we get to see a lot of these rotations fight now take a picture into this equation. You see ALE just waiting and biding that time. As for now, S5 and CHS are gonna rock it out. There are a couple of shots fired at range, and finally Sumit bites the dust, and this gives the onus on S5 to maybe push and force the issue. They need to finish the job off quick, and they need to make sure that their backs aren't, left exposed, or else ALE might just walk in and run all over them.
And they wouldn't want that happening. Right now it is going to be the point of resurrection and the entire control for Moonlight Esports, but there's no player down. It is just for the safety measure. The circle does take a shift. They do have vehicle for the quick rotation, for the quick moving in. 9 teams still surviving, and talking about Libros, power ability being used right on time. High voltage did tank up a little bit of damage, but they do have hard cover to work out with, so it is not going to cause damage. Poison is back on the ground very strongly with I personally would want to see how the retaliation will happen. A team on the bridge and a team on the shack. And now the team who was on the shack are trying to move away. They don't want to be seen. They want to be safe. And why not? You gotta be safe, isn't it? And talking about Chandra Surya, the team who was picking up fight, this is the exact room of opportunity where Team United is already eliminated. They might tank up a little.
High voltage.
Again, they did move out of sight of one team, but now again, jumping into another's vision.
Yeah, it's the favorites that are now in the jaws of defeat. High voltage need to find a way to turn this around. The chrono close range, and Robin is looking to make the play with the swag 7. He's dancing from in between the zone, but Poison can't find the antidote, and it's KKR to just steamroll over this fight as High voltage. This is just brutal. They are being dealt with aptly. KKR are not leaving any room, are they? They're very methodical. They're doing this like it's supposed to be done. Quick, easy, and painless, as they yet are to suffer a casualty. They get that revive. More importantly, they keep all their members up, and High voltage eliminated, ladies and gentlemen. 9th position, game 1. They're gonna be waiting for game 2 and hoping that they might have chosen a better path to rotate. Meanwhile, this is gonna be a dicey affair. This circle has soon translated into, the early movers advantage. There's a lot of real estate here which could be put to use for gatekeeping, but not a lot in terms of where you need to set shop, because a stray nade lobs into your compound and bam, your entire team's off the server. So this forces a couple of teams to take iffy engagements, which always leaves that room open, and that's what a couple of these teams are going to be looking for. Notably teams like NES, who are now trying to rotate their way into the circle.
The zone also did play that for Team High Voltage. We're talking about Anam Lama. Are they going to again struggle the same against Free Esports? The team who is trying to pave their way within the circle while battling, and they are able to win these battles. Why not? Because they are able to reach the safe zone a little quicker, a little early, and avoiding that blue zone damage. Now blue walls are the only cover left for Team Free Esports, and the players are moving in. Dikshant, one of the strongest players for Anam Lama Esports, is also creating a ladder sort of a pattern to just enter the circle and hopping in on the mountains, because it is also verticality involved. And now Mini Uzi coming into the action, and it is going to be Suman getting one followed by other with M1887 shot. No confirmation yet. As soon as I say that, there are going to be trades happening, and Punit will be the last man standing. How long will he survive? And Anam Lama Esports will say they are not going to survive furthermore, and Anam Lama, without losing any players, moving into the zone, are going to move ahead. Talking about Nepstars Esports, they are up against Sripat.
Yeah, the close fight, and it needs to be the shotguns that prevail in this kind of a range. Although S5, they're having a couple of bullets whizzed by their ears, and so are NES. This fight is a little easy to maybe third party, and both teams understanding this get on the high heels and get quick in on the action. NES so far, good control, good pacing throughout this fight, and they need to secure it, which they do it in good fashion. Finally, they finish that fight off, they can get their revival, and they can start healing back up for the fights yet to come. Meanwhile, this position, this crossroad that they've found, which is such a advantageous high point, Rebros are making good use of it. 5 kills in the back so far, and they're doing their level best to gatekeep ALE, and now even maybe NES. NES had that opportunity to get on that bridge, and Rebros need to deny it. Rebros undoubtedly the best of high grounds. Are they going to make good use? Wait, Rohit, did he just jump down? What in God's name is he doing?
Well, he did get a 360 knock. Now he is choked into his own cocoon that he has created, and he's not going to survive furthermore against a player like Dikshant, and he'll be confirmed in no time. What made him jump through the bridge? I don't know. Was it a miscalculation or whatsoever? Did not work out as he planned to, and now it is going to be Anam Lama facing the rest of Vibros, because now they are also in the rage mode on after losing one of the strongest player. Mamba on the course is going to make sure is going to go for the game of survival, not going to reveal himself for as long as possible. But what about Stalker here? He is trying to get a closure vision against the player of Moonlight Esports. He wants to make sure to get the exact angle, to get the exact pixel to connect the shot. Let's see if he's going to be successful enough or no. But the upper bridge and lower bridge area are against a very strongly divided 3 versus 4, and as soon as I say that through the white and 2 players are rushing in. Now this is also a very aggressive step taken.
Yeah, they needed to do this though. Look at the way the circle is going to close in. This puts any team at that low ground at somewhat of an advantage as they get to open fire first reliably. And that is exactly what ALE were praying and hoping for. Well, the prayers have been answered and hope is still there. They need to finish off the job that they started, and it's Moonlight Esports, ironically, who are now in that top 2. This is a team that we thought might have an early outing off of that initial fight that they took, but they weathered the storm, but the storm has conquered it all, and ALE looking to finish it off with a booyah and start this week 2 off, setting the bar high. Moonlight Esports back against the wall as an unstoppable force comes their way. Bye-bye. ALE 11 kills and a booyah. What a way to get week 2 started, Tanya. This is exactly what a team like ALE needed if they want to start contesting that top position in the scoreboard.
Sure, they are in top 3, but they do seem to be unhappy with that pattern. And to be honest, they are one of the oldest team, but yet they have qualified into this tournament with the open qualifiers. They have had various competition on the way, 5,000 total of teams, out of which 12 moving ahead towards the league stages. And this is one of the team with the oldest experience, and experience always plays that vital role. And not having competitive experience, sure thing, but one day was enough, fairly enough for them to learn. And I do believe if at all Vibros and High Voltage are going to go a little stumble, this team is going to conquer not only one map but maybe a hat-trick soon.
Yeah, and the fact that ALE were in that low ground and still made it look so easy, you know, the advantage was never really apparent when they rotated into that low ground. They were just hoping that the circle kind of supported them, and ever since then, they were on an upward climb, right? It was still Moonlight Esports who had that high ground and the circle advantage in that last fight. The fact that they were able to convert that, the fact that they were able to convert onto Vibro's high ground position, and Moonlight Esports, we didn't spot them coming all the way up to this top 2. We spotted them initially when, there were 10 teams remaining on the server, and that is a fight that they were barely able to scrape together. That almost cost them the entire first map, and they were almost out the server. But they stuck it together, they stuck together, and more importantly, with this top 2 finish and with a couple of kills in the bag, hopefully this leads the way to consistency. Just the way teams like High Voltage and Vibros dominated week 1, we might see these faces dominate in week 2. But again, just the start of the day, just the first game, we might be getting a little ahead of ourselves, Tanya. I feel the shivers already.
Sure, we do have to, because the way Anam Lama Esports have progressed their way, and the very first map itself, talking about Kukri Esports, I do have something to talk about this team. They were successfully able to shut the team in a good pattern that they created, that was Team High Voltage. Now, with the exact pattern, they did try to eliminate the team Anam Lama Esports, and unfortunately the table turned in no time, and Suman with the double knock. I think that was a time where the players started to feel strong. But talking about the last man, Puneet, he was able to he was at least trying to make sure of to survive for as long as possible. But then fortunately or unfortunately, team Anam Lama Esports had force within to grab a booyah.
Yeah, you know, this got me thinking, if a team like High Voltage are susceptible to such problems, there is a world where Vibros start facing difficulties in week 2, and they should be wary heading in, because there are still 7 more games, Tanya, and that's a little bit of a stretch in terms of your ability to play, but also your ability to consistently get results, right? So there is a lot of room for more teams like ALE to come and back the Booyah today, have a delightful performance, and have a chance to directly compete for that grand finalist slot. It's not set to stone just yet. And with performances like this from the midfield, that podium position starts getting a whole lot more contested. You put teams like High Voltage and Webros in a position of pressure, and that's when slip-ups start to notice, right? That's when you notice your enemy's weaknesses, and that's when you are at the most advantageous.
And talking about the score right now, 23 point is a very good start for Team Anam Lama Esports, because talking about the score, entire scoreboard for week 1, they hardly had a buffer of 30 points or 33 points. And if they are able to make sure they cover this point slowly and steadily, they might be spotted on number 1 position. But talking about High Voltage, certainly not being able to perform as good as they did in previous week. It is just the start though. We can call it a warm-up match, but still have a look on the kill feed, on the kill point. High Voltage still will be the highest kill baggers. And talking about the standing points, there's nothing that can beat Webro's only team with total of 313 total score line, and only team to cross the boundary of 300 points.
Yeah, but look at ALE though. They've crept up right behind High Voltage, and that's something High Voltage aren't going to like. In fact, the top 3 are well set apart from the rest, right? You look at ALE, 288. Then you go down to position 4. It's Berex on 185. That's more than 100 points that both Berex, MLE, NES, hell, you can even throw T2K and KKR in that discussion to some extent. This is... yeah, this is going to require 2 things, Tanya. It's going to require any of these teams from a position 4 to maybe position 7 to perform brilliantly. And more importantly, it's going to require High Voltage and Webros to just drop the ball. We did see High Voltage drop the ball in map 1, and Webros managed to keep it together for a decent bit of time. Now though, we're going to head towards Kalahari. We're going to head towards the desert. And sometimes the desert might just be the making of a perfect oasis, but that can be only enjoyed by one team, and the team that takes the Booyah. Let's discover who that's going to be. Yet again, we have this plane path that, at least for a change, goes from south to north. So it's gonna be a plane path that doesn't really favor the right hand side of the map that much. You know, places like Santa Catarina, even Confinement might be a little scarcely populated. Although this refinery battle, it might just be the best thing that I've seen in a while. I've missed these days of early Kalahari refinery battle, Tanya. This is gonna be delightful. I'm excited.
And this is going to be the mix of Webros and Street Patch. Will Webros survive? Because certainly they couldn't in previous map, and this is going to be one of the vital map, because Kalahari is one of the game-changing map forever and since we ever know about Free Fire. So I do believe this is going to be one of the important rounds. But Supreme is down, and will he be confirmed? That is going to be a question. Duke is also very low on HP, and it is going to be Duke confirming the deal, and Grego is not going to let Duke survive. Furthermore, he's going to go up close and personal and seal the deal, and is going to shut the player as early as possible. It is fair trade, 3 versus 3. One of the teams might get eliminated because there's not even a single minute or a single second free where they can go ahead and grab some good weaponaries.
Yeah, quite the pace. I'm happy with the way Kalahari started, although that battle still not being over, it has me wondering how many battles are going consecutively on the server. I think that was the defining part of map 1, right? A lot of consecutive battles, and we got to see how evenly the kill points were distributed in game 1. That's of course if you remove the top 3. That said and done, neither team is willing to budge out of this refinery battle. With the way this entire strat's developing, Tanya, I think that either of these teams might end up playing this a 2v2, and they might send one of their members towards respective vending machines to make sure that they at least guarantee a further slot in map 2. Do you think that's a stable strategy, you know, out surviving your adversaries with qualifications, and sometimes it's proved to be fatal? Even in map 1, we saw similar instances of that. I see them right now.
Well, they have to make sure they survive. And talking about survival, well, Rohit has got one of the player, which is Kush from Shripach, and now they are going to make sure that they also confirm this player in no time. And the player who chased out of the battle, this is going to be one of the key factors to grab those much required standing points. And also on the course, Stalker is also collecting those tokens to resurrect Supreme. We have spotted Supreme on the MVP card several times, OG, and we know how important does this man stands for. So let's see, does his falling back in the server, in the lobby, it's going to bring a change towards the Booyah, or it is going to be something else. But before that, we are going to see a close battle. Well, sure. It was Samurai Esports trying to go as close as possible against a player of Lone Wolves, but Lone Wolves successfully gets a frag followed by other 1v2 taken down very nicely, and it was a wise play. It was an IQ play. He did place a landmine right where he anticipated where enemy might hop in.
Yep, now we have SE stuck in a meat sandwich. Regardless where they go, it's not going to be ideal for them. They're going to walk into yet another team. And Webros are finishing off the job that they started. Very important that they do so at this point. Secure this team, secure the kill, secure your kill point. And they've almost finished it off. I think there's still one more member of Shripach alive. And he's trying to play the rack game, although he's gonna walk into Moonlight without him knowing. And on the other side, Webros are trying to just push their luck. Who are they facing? That's true. Oh god. No, Team Reunite are well set in their ways and in their position. Supreme, I'm not sure if he wants to challenge that. I'm pretty sure that he doesn't. Moonlight, they spot the they spot the rat from Lone Wolf. So a lot of interesting decisions being taken in this northern part of the map, Tanya. Some of them questionable, some of them funny, some of them heartbreaking.
The red zone is the biggest heartbreaker here, because the team doesn't have any hard cover. It is only about the containers that they are trying to grab the cover from, but still they are under the wrath of red zone. Let's see how the survival is going to take place, because Team Reunited is into the bottom 2 of the leaderboard of the entire scorecard. They have to make each and every map matter, at least in the survival points. We know sometimes when fights are not ending up into their favor. Indeed, several times that is not happening, but what right now is happening is Sassidon taking down Dada from Beg for Mercy, and they're going to hop in for the confirmation. 2 frags for Moonlight Esports. And Moonlight Esports, by the way, wow, for the start of the day, they were on position 7, and even just after one map, they were able to ladder up their score towards position number 5. So they do have their plans in their head.
Yeah, they do. Oh, close range fight! The shotgun actually doesn't work for Rohit. Surprising considering what we've seen from this man so far. Stalker from range actually finds that confirmation. Alright, cool, bro. That's quite the testament. A lot of fights happening on the same time, Tanya. This is Beg for Mercy, who are getting absolutely dumpstered by Moonlight Esports, who are trying to take the fight to Beg for Mercy. Mind you, it's Moonlight fighting from that low ground, and they're still able to translate this into a W at the moment. Beg for Mercy, look how spread they are. It's gonna be Serpa all by his lonesome, hoping that he doesn't get preyed upon, and that's exactly where Superman is like, nope. It's actually Sudhir who got that kill. Well, it's a teamwork, team effort. Team takes the W, and well, they get the points. 4 points in the bag already. Moonlight Esports gonna be delighted with the start they're having here at Kalahari. And I think they should be content, Tanya. They have no reason to get out of position. They have no reason to change strategies all of a sudden. And nobody here to contest them as well. So, for all they're concerned, a little more time for them to prep up for their inevitable rotation, as they are towards just the corner of the map. Now, this circle, I'm hoping that we get the finish from somewhere towards the left-hand side of the map, or maybe the southern hemisphere, but somewhere apart from Refinery. I want something different. I maybe want an open circle for a change.
I do believe the circle might go for a shift inclusive of Foundation and the Maze. Let's see if that is going to happen or no, because talking about Vibros here, they've lost 2 players. They don't have much of frags in their name. They have to create the threat that they made. They were the weirdest threat in all different manners, in terms of booyah, in terms of frags, in terms of survival, and now it is week 2. They are playing a little shaky and they cannot afford to shake furthermore. If at all they do, there are several teams who might stomp their number 1 position. But now talking about the grounds, it is going to be high voltage up against Moonlight Esports. No, he's trying to cook a grenade, and then there's a change of plan. Doesn't want to go for a close duel, is trying to reunite with his teammate. And talking about the spread out for Moonlight Esports, it is 1:2, and 3 players are sticking on one of the shrines, and they are pushing in. And Arjun gets 1, Superman gets 1. By the way, OG, your name is Arjun too. How do you feel about it? Arjun got a flag.
Well, we've had Arjuns, we have had Mambas, we have had everything, don't we? We just need a Mridul and Tanya now. Then we'll have the entire English desk playing the Nepal Championship. Well, so far, talking about playing, high voltage, we assume that they'd be out playing the field and enjoying themselves. They're certainly not, Tanya, and this is a heartbreak. I assumed that high voltage, maybe a bad start of the day, but this is where they recoup from their losses. Not going to be the case whatsoever. And it's Moonlight Esports who are having a delightful turn in form. I'm not saying their form in week 1 was any bad whatsoever, but when you take out high voltage in this fashion, dude, that's say stuff. And right now, 7 kills in the bag. You assume that the initial fight that they had from that low ground to that high ground was a thing of beauty. Nah, they're going to make this even better. They're gonna have a delight, and again, nobody to contest this, nobody to third party this fight, so nobody to take advantage of them just trying to regain control and reposition, or even for that fact stabilize. On the over on the other side, NES and KKR, is that yeah, I think SE still haven't managed to get their revivals up. They should. Oh, they did. Xian's back up. There we go. Man is gonna be alive, and is that high voltage? Oh god. Oh god, I sense disaster brewing.
I sense the same. This is the exact pattern where high voltages player walked into the crossfires of KKR, but this time at least they are heading towards the vending machine. They are trying to get the teammates back. If I'm not mistaken, there was only 1 player surviving. We're talking about Crookley right now. They are cooking all the grenades in their hands. They are trying to deliver as much of damage possible. But this map of Kalari is a little slower compared to what we saw on the map of Bermuda, because still 11 teams are surviving, OG.
That is quite a bit considering the action that we've gotten to witness so far. And NES action, that's something that they were looking to avoid, as they still have to make their way inside the circle. KKR aren't gonna allow that though, as they gatekeep them to almost perfection. You see 1 player of NES still trying to rat his way to maybe even a better placement. Although KKR are trying to be as methodical as humanly possible. They do spot back for Mercy's rotation, and there's SE on the other side who have been trying to be incognito for quite a while. And KKR are well aware that there's another player here. They're taking as much precaution as they can to try clean up this kill and wrap up this fight before they themselves need to find a better position within the circle. This Back for Mercy team has been on the road for quite a while, and now they're punished, now they're dead. Jetri has gone down to the grave. Back for Mercy not having the best of times, although CHS on the process of repositioning to take this fight are getting caught off guard. Hari slowly but surely healing back up. Not a good position to be in whatsoever. And Back for Mercy, not a good position that they put their team in, considering their position and considering the timing. They have no opportunity to kind of get past the circle with the amount of forces that they have left. They need to take a lot of gambles to make it through this, Tanya. And right now, a lot of teams who made that early call to get into that circle and get decent positions, like maybe even a Moonlight Esports, are going to reap the rewards. And it's ALE who might have that dominant spree put to an end.
Well, certainly they are. One of the players repeatedly falling down, and though they are successfully able to revive the teammate, but how are they going to manage to enter the circle? And they have to make it as early as possible, because circle is going to close in. And on the course, the sniper of the team Vibros is able to procure a triple. Team reunited. So they are up against Kukri. At least now, this is a blessing in disguise for Team Anamlama Esports, because Kukri was also very nearby while battling there. And as soon as I talk about Anamlama Esports, they are throwing the grenades, confirming those frags. And how are they managing to pull it? Because they were on the lower grounds, and cooking those grenades from lower grounds until upper grounds is never too easy. They are going for the tough calls, and always we say tough calls do get counted as early as possible.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Tanya, this is Kalahari, right? It's kind of synonymous with that high ground wala dhoka. And let's see if that's going to be a trend. Rebros, 7th kill. This is a team that's not going to take no for an answer, unlike High Voltage for now. And with their control over Refinery early being uncontested, right now there is nobody to challenge this high ground. SE, a team that was looking promising in map 1, are the 10th team out, Tanya. That is sad. That is just 1 point that they have in the bag if they do not get a kill. I'm assuming they might have gotten 1 or 2, but that's me being optimistic. And me being optimistic is assuming ALE might have that advantage because they're playing the low ground, and this is an anime world that we're living in where logic doesn't make sense. Rebros, they better be scared because sure, ALE on the low ground might not be that big of a threat, but their backlines aren't that safe either. You have KKR rotating in from the back. You have another team, I think, I'm not really sure who that was, but they were trying to occupy that compound just adjacent to WB. Yeah, this part of the map, ALE are just going to hope that some nice distraction come their way, so they just find a little bit of ground.
And also those perfect knocks coming in from side of Big Champ. Those were long range knocks that he was able to grab, and with that he also used the grapple gun to close in near to the circle as much as possible. But on the course they have lost MJ once again. Talking about Rebros, they were on this platform. They are still sticking to the same, and High Voltage is once again put to shut down. And talking about Chandra Surya, what a crispy aim. Stalker is literally gaining as much as possible, and this time Rebros are trying to gain the map control in all different manners, and they were on the upper ground. They're again trying to move in towards lower ground, and Rohit will be the first man who is down on the knees. But this time it is not exactly the ground. They have just fallen for one platform down, and revival came in no time, but successfully getting 10 frags and surviving strongly is one of the key factors to close in towards Booyah.
Yep, this is another interesting fight that's brewing on between that high ground, low ground parody. So, 4 teams actually, 2 platforms, and the rest of the teams just surviving by the skin of their teeth all the way towards the outer end of that play zone. Emily are on the low ground, so making that rotation might be a doable ask, but with both the teams, you know, the team on top of the refinery platform and the team beneath just hailing them with lead, it's not going to be a delightful picnic for them as they take that walk of death. ALE are out the server. They're the 6th team out, and Moonlight Esports are facing problems, and they're dealing with it to some extent. Their path, however, is filled with a lot of questions and maybe even death. They deliver death as well. They have 9 kills in the bag so far, Tanya, and they could be close to number 10. If they even do exit this in maybe even a 4th position, it'd be victory. And I think the true fight and the true cake over here is between KKR and TRU. If KKR and TRU try to fight each other, that is the call for Moonlight Esports to then make their dart in towards the fight. They just need to find the perfect timing for this. Otherwise, it could be disastrous.
They are within the circle. They are not going to reveal their position. They are not going to get exposed as much as possible. But what about zones? It is going to force them out, and that is where exactly Team Reunited are trying to grab the opportunity. 6 frags already, a perfect gatekeeping opportunity spotted and grabbed in no time. Sassidon will be the man remaining, surviving, trying to get the circle entry, and in the depth still. 3 players trying to make a move. If we have a look on other 2 teams, Kukri Esports are still sticking on the lower grounds, and now that is risky because Moonlight Esports Sassidon is coming as close as possible. Kanzo with a walk-in knock. Now that was very close, very nice. But what about Arjun? Grenadier on the team will make it easy as much as possible, and a melee finisher as well.
Yeah, it's all about the circle, and it should be true to the game. Team Reunite bagging this booyah. That was such a sweaty circle. The last fight where there were 4 teams alive, those few moments, Team Reunite really needed not only good fortune going their way, Tanya, but also very, very good skill to execute that set plan. They had that high ground, but they had everybody firing at all cylinders on them, and that's not the ideal situation to be stuck in. There was, KKR all the way in the low ground who were just waiting for that perfect opportunity to catch them napping, and they never found it. The perfect rotation that Moonlight Esports committed was so well timed. And in all honesty, if that rotation wasn't timed to that extent, TRU might not have survived that fight in the platform. Perfect timing, perfect distraction, perfect setting for yet another midfield team to bag that booyah. Week 2 is just going ham. I'm loving it.
And talking about Team Reunite, the team who couldn't even close in towards 100 score is now certainly performing in the best of manners in the map of Kalahari. It was a table turner. It indeed still is. Still, we do have one more Kalahari on the way. But talking about on the map of Purgatory, I do believe this time there's not going to be any patience, because all the patience were already used on the map of Kalahari. 10 minutes and only one team is getting eliminated. So that was one of the slowest games spotted on the map of Kalahari.
Yeah, for sure. It was slow, but it was gruesome, Tanya. Minute 1, there was a refinery duel. So you can call it slow, but damn was it chaotic, damn was it fun. And this is the Kalahari we all know and love, the unpredictable desert. I'm just itching to see those replays. A lot of these frags, Tanya, a lot of these kill points are happening off the screen. There's a lot of teams that gain small advantages along the way, which we really can't compute in the grander scheme of things with the chaos that we're getting to witness. So these small kills, they're gonna add up to making that midfield really, really sweaty, like we've been telling. And with TRU coming in with this booyah, with Moonlight Esports being denied yet again, there's a lot of storylines to unwrap, and this timing to find these teams come alive, it's gonna put a lot of these teams which have the lead undoubtedly in a position of sweat.
Moonlight Esports, somehow they are pulling the strings so hard that they are successfully reaching in top 3, top 4. Moonlight Esports have certainly done their homeworks pretty well, but this side finisher coming in from side of Kokri Esports, that was also not much expected. But it is going to be Guliao being the MVP for the team Reunite with a total of 4 frags, out of which he was successfully able to connect 3 headshots, and the damage is matching up to the kills, but no revives taken, no revival given. It was surviving until the end and bringing up all the best of action saved from the start until the end of the map of Kalahari. A good mindset, trying to gatekeep as many teams as possible with the advantage of height that they possessed.
Yeah, and the way that they even grabbed that platform was so sly. I don't think any team kind of got a grasp of TRU's rotation throughout Kalahari, and that's something that we need to see so much more of, right? With the way these teams have adapted to being a little more kill hungry, trying to be unpredictable in your rotation route is very crucial for you then not to be preyed upon by a targeted strategy or a targeted hit. So a job well done. Although you do see Webros in position 2 with 19, you do see MLE with 18, you do see ALE with 9. So even for the sake of the front of the field, a couple of teams have made very crucial progress. Now, MLE, they have a long climb back up, Tanya, but it's on games like these that will kind of help them make their recovery, because we saw High Voltage getting denied, right? We saw them going out early. We could see the same from Webros, although that's something that we've yet to witness. Even on this game, Webros absolutely smashed it on Refinery. Sure, they didn't bag the booyah, but they're not even worried about it. Look at the lead. They're just worried about getting more consistent points and just adding on to the tally to make sure nobody can reach them, notably High Voltage. So MLE now have to rely on the rest of this day kind of not panning out in their favor, and in those kind of opportunities you need to make your shot count. You need to make sure that you deliver a lights out performance and at least bag a minimum of 20 points, and that is something that not only us, ladies and gentlemen, but you at home will have to wait for, because we're going to be back right after a 2 minutes break to get in the juices with Purgatory. We'll be back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, after a short break for Free Fire Nepal Championship 2022, where histories are in the making and the stars are yet to shine. Who is going to shine the brightest is going to take away the trophy. Well, it is going to be a long journey then. Talking about the day here, where we did spot Team Reunited out of nowhere to in the bottom half of the leaderboard. Indeed, they were into the last two of the leaderboard, taking away a booyah against some strong Team OG. Now, that is some change coming in from these teams, and that is what exactly matters. Talking about Moonlight, they are leveling up as strong as possible, and sure shot a strong start for Anam Lama Esports, but the consistency does matter.
Yeah, and now the fact that half the first rotation is over, I'm itching to see which other team is gonna eye this booyah. You know, unlike week 1 where we kind of falsely told that, hey, we might get to see more, you know, teams up in the booyah screen, I think there is a week where that feasibly could happen, right? We've seen that a lot of these teams now have a lot of that element of fear removed. Sure, fear as in not the fear that cripples you, but more importantly, the one that kind of doesn't allow you to take those kind of fights. So we've seen teams even from the bottom of the table contest high voltage, contest Webros, contest ALE, contest even Moonlight, and at this point the gloves are off for every single player in the server. Now you know, talking about all this, we're moving on to Purgatory, where things are already as unpredictable as they can be. So for now, I'm just gonna think that maybe BitX have something to look at for today, because we're getting to see a lot more of these underdogs in the server actually perform. And I feel like SE really need this booyah right now. They're a team that did look decent in in week 1. They've found themselves in the middle of the leaderboard, but they're yet to find traction. Lone Wolf have been kind of an unfortunate team alongside CHS, who found themselves in the claws and jaws of a lot of these top dogs. And I think Back for Mercy, S5, NES are all teams with very capable individuals, right? They're players that can stand up to anybody on the server, but I think as a team, that cohesion is yet to stick.
And they have to, without a doubt. And ladies and gentlemen, we are heading towards the third map for the day. It is week 2, day 4, and map of Purgatory, where the flight path starts right on the northern side. We do have a blue zone where the team Sanura Gaming Esports is hopping in. It is going to be Kukri Esports also joining in the lead, and let's see how everything is going to pan out, because Western Island is contested by a total of 3 teams. And talking about Southern Island, Moonlight Esports are still deciding to level up because there's nobody sharing the southern ground. Brasilia is going to be contested by 2 teams, High Voltage and Sripach. Don't you think, OG, Sripach are trying to go and initiate the fights as much as possible? Maybe Refinery, maybe the grounds of Bermuda, and now again on Purgatory.
That's being a trend, and what's also a trend is High Voltage having these problematic starts, so you better hope that this is going to be a change in form. Well, Novi, he's continuing to deliver for High Voltage. He's been Mr. Consistent for High Voltage so far, if anybody else is concerned. Close range SMG to this shred through Novi. No way he'd survive that. S5 and High Voltage end up trading members, although this fight, it might be pulled apart. I'm not really sure if High Voltage are really interested to contest this, because look at their positions. They're very split, aren't they? This screams that a couple of their players are still gonna rely on getting better weaponry on their hands before they commit to a fight like this. S5 have the advantage, and it's their call to make. Did they make the advance, or did they fall back? Still being indecisive about it, which if they continue to be indecisive, they have another member to worry about from that backstab, and with them being grouped together, that just calls for trouble.
And they are going to bounce back. They're not going to just wait passively as much as possible, because it is a play pattern for Sripach. They are ready to endanger themselves, even if it matters that they are going to be diminished, because they are looking forward to next map. And talking about High Voltage, now they are hopping in on the grounds of Brazil, and now it looks a very risky part. And as I talked about the risk, one player is already down on the knees. Duke is also trying to duke away from all the ammos, but he won't survive against Novi. Novi does have 2 health to work out with, and Sripach will be eliminated within just 3 minutes of landing. And we did talk about it, OG, that unlike of Kalahari, we are going to witness several team eliminations early on, and that is exactly what is happening. High Voltage not being able to put good show, or maybe a brighter show. They are trying to put the best in the map of Purgatory. Talking about Anamlama Esports, the team's take away a strong booyah is up against Beg for Mercy.
Yep, I think that small break certainly did help High Voltage, didn't it? Well, Beg for Mercy, this is a fight which they could feasibly take. It would be their first kill in the bag, and I think they've just overlooked it. Yeah, they just got they just got caught running around in circles. Look at this left-hand side of the map, Tanya. You have SC who's trying to creep into marble work. You also have Lone Wolf who are making their way there. KKR are just about in the vicinity to help out their teammate and maybe put an end to Zepu. This is such an unfortunate timing that SC have found. This is gonna be a nasty, nasty 3-way affair, and as far as we're concerned, SE have no way out. LW might have a small way to bail out of this fight, but KKR are soon going to lose that luxury as soon as Moonlight rotate in through that bridge. Golf course, they're going to be playing put golf like their life depended on it now.
But the circle is very interesting, isn't it? 3 island inclusive, a lot of water route. I really would want to shrink in exactly in the same pattern it is created. But here the new patterns are being created. 2 players are down for Team Sanura Gaming Esports. Health kits being used here, and Xeon, well, it's going to be difficult to save him. Now all the resurrection points, that is where exactly they are going to chase away from this battle towards the resurrection point, where other team is already waiting. Somehow the teams are already waiting, and a squad strong team is waiting against a solo player, against the 2-man roster. So they are going to be pretty strong. Talking about Sanura Gaming, though, they are not heading for the resurrection points. They are heading for the vending machine, and I do believe that there's no one holding on that vending machine. They do have have those tokens to work with, so why not get the team back? But talking about the team being again strong, a four-man roster being alive, Beg for Mercy made sure of that the lost player is back in action. Moat House, it is in blue zone. They are going to pave their way, but look at Anam Lama Esports. They are waiting for the teams to just exit through the blue zone.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're gonna account for Cosmic's position though. Sure, Chady is not in ideal territory, if you may. And Beg for Mercy are very, very far away to even come to aid his men. Nah, it's gonna be a kill confirmed. And ALE making their presence well known. You can see that the two members from Beg for Mercy desperately want to avoid this fight. They're rotating the long way around. They just want to cartwheel their way in the circle, and that's something that ALE are not looking to allow, Tanya. ALE are looking to have this one squared away before they make their own rotation in towards the circle. And ALE fully invested, fully interested into contesting this. They're not gonna let this go, Tanya. They are looking to even the scores.
They have to, because they did lose the momentum in the map of Kalahari. They are trying to re-grab that momentum, but is it going to be any easier? Talking about Kukri Esports, they are trying to go for the advantage of height, and they are within the circle, I do believe. No, they are not. They are near to Mount Villa, and they are far, far away from the circle. Two players a little above, and chrono ability doesn't get wasted away with the shockwaves coming in from Styler, but the player is still shot. Thapa will be the last man standing, and how long will he stand is going to be a question, because zone is again going to shrink in. The player is going to tank up a lot of damage. Now it all depends upon how much of loot does he possess. Does he have enough health kits to just stealthily hold that angle as long as possible? And Kukri Esports on the way. They are not hunting the last man. Indeed, they are moving out of sight.
I think they're just waiting though. They're on the process of moving out. If they stay there any longer, yeah, it's gonna be a problematic thing. Although that means that we will have our second team leave the server then, and everybody will be in on it for the points. After that becomes a game of survival and attrition. Cosmic trying his very, very best to evade ALE's wrath. And ALE simply aren't gonna let this go. They want this really, really bad. And you can see that with them committing to such a strategy, and you can see the same for Beg for Mercy. Look at the difficulty that's now imposed on them as they try to make their way inside the circle. There's a lot of teams already in wait and in position to take fights, Tanya. And, you know, talking about rotations and problems, NES and CHS in very close vicinity, right outside Brasilia. We might see them take the gloves off, although we're still going to stay towards Marble Work, where we initially taunted what could have been a four-way affair. Finally breaks out, but it is between Lone Wolves and Team Reunite. Team Reunite, the champions of the map prior, looking to carry their momentum just a little bit forward, although, Topi really was put in a tough situation there, no cap.
But why would he go with the vehicle there, with the two-wheeler there, where they were
To
an
be cool.
entire roster? You're not allowed to be cool. It is in such a heat of the moment, you are going to melt, and I do believe Topi did melt out. And let's see how they are going to reverse the cards. Do they have a Uno reverse card in their pocket? That is going to be a question, because against them, it is going to be Team Lone Wolves. They are a spot strong team. Damages are to be delivered because a good cover enhances Team United as well. Circle is not favoring either of the teams, so they have to make sure they battle it out as early as possible, because they are in a few minutes or in a few seconds. Warning is already on in few seconds. Now it is going to be a three-way affair. Two teams battling against each other. Zone battling against these two teams.
Yeah, there's a vending machine right around the corner, so that's something Team Reunite will definitely be a little interested in, considering they're a man down. And LW, they've still managed to draw this fight on for long enough that the circle now closes, and it pushes Team Reunite to take uncomfortable and unfavorable fights. Lone Wolf? Wait, what? Raza, he's still allowed to stay alive? They had a decent idea of what he's up to, and Team Reunite. Yeah, this is gonna be a brawl to the very death. Both these teams having what would be a spicy affair, Tanya. I still see this as a team, whoever being the victor, walking away from this heavily scarred. with 11 teams still on the server, these teams can't afford to be taking fights like this. They're still, however, going to proceed, and it's Lone Wolves who have the advantage walking out of that fight, although they're not pretty strong themselves. They need to find their way to a safe vending machine, which at this point I think will be a luxury. Considering how teams have already set up shop and have real estate, they're not going to allow that rotation whatsoever. And CHS, they found a very crucial and big pick-off. That's one member from Webros already down in the drain. This has left a very, very strong contender for week 2 in a very weak position here in map 3. CHS are now looking to force the issue, and Webros need to make a decision. Do they stick around for this fight, or do they turn tail and run themselves?
CHS, the team on the rock bottom, is trying to contest against the team who is on a table topper. I don't know how it is going to end up, because certainly for me, Chandra Surya are picking up fights where they have no business, and as soon as I say that, the players are also falling one by one. It is all up to the last man standing, and how long will he stand will be the question, and in no time Chandra Surya will be shut down. Webros, all 4 players, no, they don't have to get resurrected, because they are going to get revived, they are going to be safe, and they are very close to Circle as well. And talking about Circle, it does include Triple Island, it does include
Let's
Water
go.
Route. How is it going to close in? And Anamlama Esports, this time they are doing the gatekeeping action. They have been gatekept several times. Now it is their turn.
Yeah, and who better than Anam Lama to do the dirty work? I think this is the second or the third time in an official tournament that I'm going to be getting to see that Triple Island finish. So I'm excited if that's the route that we're heading. Golf Course did have a couple of teams duke it off early on, and I'm surprised that we're not going to have any teams who try to invest and maybe stick around in that real estate. This is a little uncharacteristic from Moonlight, right? It's been, what, 12 minutes off the bat, and there's still not gotten a single frag, Tanya. Ooh!
Grenade launcher! This is the exact weapon required was, and Rabin does get hands on him, and it is all blood now. One frag, sure, how many more? Now, look at those boxes. They are also falling here, and let's see what weaponaries those boxes have. And for now, the gatekeeping still coming into the action. Neon is down with the grenade coming in from Stahel. Now, that is the precision of aim. That is the precision of cooking the grenade on exact seconds, because this sort of a knock requires those milliseconds counted, and that those were counted. Sure, Circle is going to take shift. I want that Triple Island Circle still, and it does have 2 islands, little bit of Water Roots inclusive. Webros are against Kukri Esports, 2 players in the sniper tower. That's going to be a mistake.
Push close to range. Blue wall kind of protects somebody's down for the taking there, Simon. KKR now locked in on the sniper tower. There are a couple of people from different positions who have angles. A couple of them Webros, a couple of them other teams. The one member from SE still continues to survive. And this circle being so small, it still has 9 teams up and running, Tanya. This is gonna be a very, very dicey affair. It depends on which side of the circle start getting engulfed in fights and flames faster than the other, which enables more teams to have a little bit of strategic difference and maybe a different approach, all things put together. Webros, though, they are committed to taking the sniper tower. You can see MLE's player all the way in that low ground there as well. This is going to be a game of placements as well, Tanya. A lot of players are choosing to play for the long game.
And talking about long game, we do have Woodpecker in the hands of Prepared going for the long fight, and is confirming 1 frag in his name. And the sniper tower are getting the heat of the moment with 2 teams, and all the blue walls spam here, there, and high voltage again put to shut down. Supreme is going to give a good battle with the Mag 7 that he had in his hand, and now it is going to be 1 team though on the lower grounds near to the docks, and 1 team near to the bridge. Still a long way to go. Still they got across near to the circle. Anam Lama Esports are still surviving strong, and Suman is putting some grenades. We will see the victims on the court. Moonlight Esports' Arjun is going to shut Sanura Gaming. 5 teams, 15 players, circle is shrinking in. Water routes are not going to be inclusive furthermore. That is what my perception is. But Webros are going to stick to their plans. They have gained double digit, and Dragog taking down Suman. Now that is a big loss for Anamlama Esports.
Ooh, Superman comes in with a super shot as he takes Rohit down. Revive yet to come up, and this is perfect timing from MLE. They've found a golden opportunity to find Webros with their backs turned and their attention divided. Superman trying to take the front, Webros struggling to stay in grip of the heat of the situation, and ALE meanwhile are just lying in wait, waiting for their own opportunity to strike. Superman's down. This might be the golden time to maybe pull off an offensive, as Webros are on the verge of getting their 11th kill on the server, and Moonlight Esports, they're trying to do a similar strategy to what they tried to pull off in Kalahari, and yet again it's come to that same result. They lose that first member, they're not able to find momentum, they're not able to find space within that circle to enable their fights. They're just stuck in an awkward position, and Webros managed to restabilize. That is big. That is something that ALE could not allow, and NES might just put an end to ALE, as MJ just has to be in a very passive stance, hoping that his teammates find success. Well, he finds a bullet with his name written on it, and Webros not in a better position.
Webros, well, they are again finding a position where they are best at, and now all 4 players again strong on their feet against Moonlight Esports. One player from Nepstar is going to stay away, out of sight, want to get those placement points, and indeed it is not only one player, there are a total of 2 players surviving there. Webros with 12 frags, and they are trying to go for the close duel. Supreme trying to take the charge, and Arjun is going to shut him down. No confirmation yet, but soon it shall be. As soon as I say that Arjun won this point very crucially, and Stalker is also taken down, is Webros again not getting a booyah, because now all they are left with is 2 players on feet. And talking about the other team, which is Moonlight Esports, one of the strongest teams for the day, 7 frags, 3 men on feet. If we talk about men-to-men advantage, Moonlight owns it right now.
Yeah, and if they do manage to maybe wipe the server, or what's left of it, they might be on double digits alongside a booyah, which will certainly be a very good result to take home. Arjun, look at his HP, down to 39. He's so dead low that he needs to be cautious with this fight he does take. Rohit wins had the first, and that should be Webros bagging this booyah. Another golden opportunity, another chance at success, and it just goes by the fingers for Moonlight Esports. A devastating loss, but yet again a consistent finish. And you can say the same about Webros. Boy, oh boy, did they pop off and get that booyah. Life is surely livid and a little disappointing in Emily's boot camp, but all things said and done, position 2, and they came close to what, 8 kills, so still a good result.
And a consistent result is what exactly is going to matter at the end of the day. Talking about Webros, they are again putting the best of the action on the map of Purgatory. And to the viewers, you also got to put some good action here. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the share button. Share the stream as much as possible. Let's try to increase the esports in Nepal structure as well, because the players are not leaving any stone unturned. They are giving the best of the performances. Team Reunited grabbing 1 booyah for the day. Anam Lama got 1 booyah for the day. And now it is Webros dominantly taking away the booyah, even being outnumbered, still taking the strong booyah. But now talking about the 4th booyah, that is going to be the last map for the first cycle of the day. Who do you think is going to take away? Is it going to be any repetition, or once again we are going to witness a new name on the booyah cards?
See, now we did this in map 1, Tanya, where we jinxed a couple of teams. I kind of feel like I've been jinxing Moonlight quite a bit. So I'm a little hesitant to take that name. So in the interest of Moonlight Esports, I'm going to say KKR. That's the best I can put with logic.
Let's see, because Webros coming into a strong action, and I was happy to see Rohit with that charge buster weapon. We don't repeatedly see him with that shotgun. He did go right in front of the face, popped off his head, grabbed the kill, and no sooner booyah in the hands of Webros. And after so long, we witnessed a booyah coming in from Webros, because sure, they did take away 4 booyahs on day 1. Then they weren't allowed on day 2 when they were playing with the group C. They only managed to take 1 booyah. Now finally again they are progressing. For the start itself, High Voltage had an upper hand against 3 Punch, eliminating an entire team within the 3 minutes of the start of the map of Purgatory.
Yep, this yet again was a map where it was very slow in pace, in the pace at which the team exited the server, but it didn't seem like the teams had any clue of what's happening around them. They were just going ham. Every single minute there was at least 2 fights, and those are fights that happened consecutively and sometimes even back to back, or even side by side. As one fight's happening, there's another on the other side of the server. So I just pity our production team, man. They have to go through so many screens to find the right one, and they're doing a great job at it. So, you know, if this map has anything to do with how the game is played, I'm sure that Alpine has changed quite a bit, right? The ability to play a new map in one of the biggest stages for your country, you always have the possibility to come in with that curveball. So after we got to see a small trend develop in week 1, and after we saw a lot of these teams get comfortable with Alpine, now is the time where consistency needs to lead their way. We need to see a team that's maybe figured out something about Alpine that we've not seen yet. I'm hoping that maybe a team like Beg for Mercy or even KKR has done a little bit of homework to get a small edge that might give them a big victory.
And right now, who had the big victory on the map of Purgatory? It was VBros. Talking about all 3 Booyahs, they are the only team closing in towards 30. And talking about the map of Philippines, they have created a history by far. 20 frags and a Booyah on very first day. OGV both were casting itself. Who is going to break their records is going to be my personal question with myself. But talking about the leaderboard, high voltage. Now, the buffer that was created on day 1, by the end of the week, it was reduced to only 7 to 8 points. And once again, VBros going as dominantly as possible in terms of Booyah, in terms of frags, and in terms of placement points, because by far what we talked was high voltage were the team with highest amount of frags. Now they are not. 200 score crossed by VBros and 360 points. They are closing in towards a 400 point marker without a doubt by the end of the day.
Oh yeah, that's going to be something for us all to look forward to. Meanwhile, this tier 1 that's established itself in the leaderboard is getting a little further and further away from the tier 2, at least the upper echelon of it. So let's see if Alpine changes that. I want to see a very, very good game from ALE to maybe put more pressure on a team like High Voltage. Don't let them sweat. This is when they're vulnerable. Break them. They get one opportunity, and that's for 11 teams on the server. Lone Wolf have been a team that haven't really come out banging, right? They've not really, you know, had that great of a standing in most of their games. They've not had that big of an impact. They've not dethroned many of these big teams. I'm a little saddened by how silent Lone Wolf have been on the server, and I hope that this is where that story changes.
Well, it is going to be the map of Philippines, and this might be a story changer for any of the teams that you were questioning about. Talking about the flight path, once again, it is going pretty straight. Once again, we are spotting it from north to south. How the day started on the map of Bermuda is going to end up with the very first cycle on the map of Philippines. Talking about the blue zone, again nearing to the very start of this flight path. Now, there's some sort of a repetition happening, and how long will the repetition take place? And highest resource loot zone is having Sonora Gaming Esports alongside that Sweepatch, the team intentionally picking up fights, and also there's one more team, Beg for Mercy, trying to pick up early battle. Who is going to win the duel? We will witness that, but on the grounds of Militia, there's going to be only one team, which is Chandra Surya, and the team who has not yet taken any Booyah.
What? Look at the south of the circle.
Whoa!
Is that? It looks like a weather forecast that's gonna happen. Holy hell, it's gonna be raining lead, it's gonna be raining men, hallelujah. And that fight, yeah, it's gonna be a nail-biting affair. Although, SE gonna go up ahead, and if they go any further, Beg for Mercy is gonna be right around the corner. S5, you mentioned this, right? They have that trend of just forcing a lot of these early fights. This time, though, I think they're gonna be a little more fortunate, Tanya. They're the team that's a little isolated from this fight, and then they stand the chance of waiting for the perfect opportunity to waltz in. That's what they need to do. S5 also sending in one of their scouts to get a little bit of information on this fight. So they need to have a little bit of stability with the way they're approaching the game, and they need to find consistency in the way they're approaching this fight. So far, this is the best way I think that they could have done so. They're in the most ideal position to translate on this and make a good early game out of the situation that they've landed in. Meanwhile, Lone Wolf, a team that I'm desperately looking to show more signs of life throughout the league stage of this Nepal championship, go up against ALE themselves in the skin. And Lone Wolf, they have Ram, who's trying to punch in that revive, and it's not going to be the easiest of affairs, although he does get it done, and they clean up the last remaining member who was knocked. SE, on the other hand, opening off this fight relatively well, although like I said, Shri Punch are right around the corner, so you better hope that SE finish this fight fast, as you see Kush already getting information for his team.
The information is ample, but the actions are still due. Kush trying to chase out trying to reunite with his teammates. Two bikes racing against each other. Are they confusing it for the street race, or they're still sticking to the same battle, or the still free fire game pattern? Now 3 teams against each other in the mix, and as soon as we talk about Sri Pachholi, he is tanking up a lot of damage, and who is dishing that damage? Well, we did not get to exactly see that, but those 3 teams trying to go a little greedy on the best of the loot. This is exactly what you have to struggle, but the greed is what to fight for. You do want those hand cannons to work out with, and as soon as we talk about it, the players for Sri Pach are once again falling. 1 down, second confirmed, 2 remaining.
Well, this is so much more gruesome than the other games that we've gotten to witness so far, Tanya, and I think that we are on the verge of maybe even seeing a team out the server pretty soon. A couple of these teams facing significant losses. Team Reunite, they cut their losses short. They're able to clean up. Who was it against them? It was ALE? Okay. ALE were looking in decent form, at least as they took that initial fight in Alpine. Now they're facing undoubted uncertainty. Wow. That is just the saltiest strategy I've seen, Tanya, and I love it. High voltage hit and run to get their second kill on the board, and we see that a lot of these teams are just making circles and circles and circles. Another team fight that's emerged, and it's High Voltage going up against SE. SE, the better start, as they were the ones with the real estate. They were the ones maintaining position. High Voltage, what is that contingency? How do they reply with this? Because they need that revive up pretty quick, which they're gonna get. But they also need somebody manning that front lines, which Lurie is doing a lovely job of.
Well, Thapa once again chasing out of sight. They do have some good bikes to pick up so early, and I do believe that the highest resource Luton also has a lot of 2-wheelers to get, and Thapa is going to use the chrono ability and is going to go away from sight. He wants to survive because Seppo is already eliminated, and now he has to make sure to go survive. But what is High Voltage up to? They are sending some 360-volt shocks, and those shocks have taken down and confirmed, and all the shocks did come in from Novi, and Poison still will remain the top fragger. And if we have a look at Team Champions area, they are pretty safe, and they are picking up the fight against Lone Wolf. The players are being traded, and no confirmation yet. Hari is trying to pick a long range battle. Now that is not something what team needs right now. It is a close duel.
They should get that revive up on Summit. They have ample heals on their body as well. Lone Wolf, oh, that Skylar ability almost got Neon messed up. Neon does fight back on a hurry. He's just trying to maybe get that kill. That kill point would mean a lot to his team. 6 minutes in of second team out here in Alpine. Everybody now contesting for points in the server. Just about who gets a little more. Do you have a favorite high ground position in this map, Tanya?
There is a little bit of verticality, but my personal favorite is still Militia, which doesn't have much of higher ground, but does have a lot of compounds where you can hide, where you can loot. And for now, Moonlight Esports are also trying to go away from this carnival side because the zone is going to close in. Beg for Mercy are also aware that parallelly one more team is trying to close in towards the center of the circle, and racing into the open is equal to risking your lives, which you wouldn't want that. And Kukri Esports still into the blue zone. zone. Circle is not favoring it anymore, and they are also trying to make a move towards the circle. Talking about circle, only one team within the circle, which is going to be Nepstars on the Western Island, and Bebros are again moving towards Western Island. Now this is a little risky for Nepstars Esports.
Dude, you're talking about risk. Look at the northern part of the map. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly even 5 if you want to got CHS, and that crescent of the circle. Now, the northern side, at least the south of Militia, somewhat peaceful, but everywhere else, it's almost like a no man's land if you're a team that's rotating from the north. And right now, it's Moonlight Esports who are trying to duke it off. And who are they duking it off against? It's High Voltage. Alright, Moonlight, they were looking strong a map ago, and High Voltage, I'm pretty sure they're out for revenge, out for vengeance with the way that map 3 ended. And well, oh well, Moonlight Esports, they bow out of that fight almost immediately with a 2-man loss. The fact that they're still alive is a miracle. If they manage to make it out even past this, it's going to be absolutely sensational. But I think that might be a stretch.
That might be a stretch that they would want to have, and will they be getting? It's going to be a question. Talking about Chandra Surya, the team who hasn't been performing so well, and on the map of the team, certainly they are also able to confirm those frags. Took down 2 players of High Voltage. Those were 2 expensive frags for High Voltage. Now 5 frags in the name, no loss of players, and they are near to the resurrection point, but nobody needs it, and they are going to make a move towards circle. And who's going to be gatekeeping them? That is going to be my exact point that I would want to witness. And talking about Team Reunited, they did have one Booyah in their name, and Moonlight Esports as well as Beg for Mercy has called back all the lost players. They are again going to be on their feet as strong as possible. But what about loot? They are going to be lesser in that aspect.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, you have TRU here. That's Anam Lama all the way in the background, who are just maybe waiting for an opportunity themselves to get on the pouncing stance. Although TRU trying their level best to avoid this fight. TRU know that they still are not really in safe haven with their rotation, so avoiding this fight is a really good move. But if you're able to successfully pull it off, only then, through the blue wall, MJ finds another, and out of nowhere, TRU Team Reunite, it's not looking that green and dandy anymore. It's a problematic situation, and right now, MJX is being an absolute menace, not letting them even survive by an inch. This is hard for TRU now to rotate out of, because they found themselves between a rock and a blue wall, and as soon as they make their way out of either, there is certainly lead coming their way.
And how many casualties are they going to witness? Here we see the airdrop, and they did pick up something. I don't know which exact weapon was picked up there. 10 teams surviving. The circle is closing in. Kukri Esports spotted gatekeeping a team, and which is that team? That is going to be Beg for Mercy. The team just to call back their players on feet. Rabin shall be revived immediately by Puneet, and Kukri Esports again, a squad strong team. They are going to enter the circle in no time, but look at Rohit and Regog. They are creating a havoc. They are being the mischievous players there. They are getting frags in every different vision, every different pixel as possible. They want to get that repetitive Booyah title that they had on day 1.
And yes, perfect timing. This is gonna be NEF's turf, ain't it? You have MJ all the way up in the tower. You have another member from TRU all the way down in the tower. So, CHS, if they're clinical with this approach, they should be on 7. That's a big if. There's another team as well who are just waiting, and that is Moonlight Esports. CHS are the only thing that keeps them at bay, and for a team like maybe High Voltage or even Beg for Mercy, that's going to be very, very good news, because there's at least something between you and a full squad coming to clean up this sector of the map. Just buys a little more time, and obviously deals more of a headache as you're trying to rotate. Sometimes that is how life is, so let's see how they cope with it. Meanwhile, Emily, they themselves are still outside that circle, Tanya, and with the way today's trends have been going, with a lot of these fights being favored to the early rotators, it's certainly not the best spot for them to find themselves in.
And there's one more weapon pod being used into the final few circles left. Now that is something again not spotted quite often. I don't know what sort of a comfort did Arjun have to use it, but he did manage to pull the trigger, he did manage to pull the frag, use whatever the players are comforted with, and also getting a successful frag. Sripach getting very early elimination in the map of Purgatory, but they are going to survive in the map of Alpine for quite too long and just now got eliminated. And now I did hear the grenade knock, and it is going to be players of Netstars being knocked, but who gave that grenade is exactly, I want to know as soon as we get the confirmation. We are going to witness that, and it is none other than V-Bros hopping in.
Oh, nice play around the chrono. Unknown gets his job sorted. Revive should be coming in as well. Mamba still on his knees. Unknown thirsting that kill. Here's the player close by, and there's almost no place for him to run. Unknown looking to force the fight through that blue wall, jumping into the angle, and the surprise turnaround as someone finds the other member with his back turned. This is a nightmare, and NES slowly losing grasp of the situation. Yeah, NES, they claim it back, and ALE, this is still gonna be the hopes of one player who, if I'm not mistaken, is inside that compound. They're not out of it just yet, but you have teams like KKR who are in really good position to take this game home. They've been patient, they've been waiting for that chance, and I think this is just about the moment they've gotten it. CHS, also another team with a 4-man strong roster, alive and kicking. They have real estate, Tanya. I think these are the two teams that we need to have an eye on.
And there's only one team within the circle, which is Chandra Surya. A good zone prediction here, and they've got a good opportunity to gatekeep. But will Kukri Esports allow an easy victory with Kanko going with the K9 shots? Rohit trying to confirm next stars, and the players did fall down. And now Kukri Esports trying to go, and very rarely do we see these ghillie suits being used. And it is good to see something unique happening. It is different region, some new play sets, some new mindsets are going to be utilized. And talking about KKR here, 7 frags sure, and MJ is also again down in action, confirming Rohit in no time. KKR Puneet is taken down Christian, and the KKR, they are also trying to confirm him in no time, and with the grenade launcher again in hands of Rabin. That is pretty deadly.
Rabin has one nade though. He needs to make it count, and he hopes that his teammates have a little more that he might be able to lend from the landmine alongside Simon's push. Rockets no more. KKR are making very good use of the positioning that they managed to get. Within these 3 houses, they've found a way to come all the way to the top 3. Now they're eyeing for the Booyah undoubtedly, and they are in good grasp to maybe get it. Beneath taking on a fight towards the backlines, and all he's trying to do is buy time. Stalker from range with the sniper, trying to go ham, trying to make the plays, but he's simply not able to make it count just yet. Finally gets 1 frag, and that pushes it up to 11 for Webros. KKR though still standing firm and strong.
2 players, 1 from V-Bros, and there are a total of 3 players surviving, but other 2 are going to bleed to death for V-Bros, and now it is only going to be 1 sniper surviving. How long will he survive is going to be the question, and Kukri Esports are going to be the kill leaders here with a total of 12 frags. With the shot, a player from Chandra Surya is trying to survive as long as possible, as much as possible, and those placement points do get counted and do stand of a lot of importance. The Stalker is a sniper against him from Kukri Esports. Is again a sniper. So who is going to win the duel of the fight of sniper is going to be questioning. These M249 the spray. This is a very risky spray because you cannot connect it every single time, but
nice timing.
Stalker certainly can.
Yeah, nice timing. Almost got that second frag. It's however boiled this to 1 versus 1. Webros versus Kukri Esports. This entire 48 player affair has boiled down to this glorious 1 versus 1. Sniper on the hands of Knexo, and so is Stalker. He's been on an absolute tear with this weapon, and he needs to finally hit that final nail in the coffin. KKR, a long-awaited booyah, but that is gonna be the wait continuing. We bros bagging a booyah, and what? A total of 13 kills? Another dominant performance by them.
The last frag was denied, by the way. Kukri Esports last man standing was self-eliminated by the zone. And I don't know why he didn't move ahead. He might be feeling a little risky there. He might be feeling a little... you tend to get into a stress pattern being built up, and that is exactly what he was not trying to go. But zone is not going to stop for anyone. Is not going to comfort you for not even for a single second. But we bros here comforted themselves, and once again being outnumbered is not a question mark for them. They are strong enough. The last man standing is going to take down an entire roster if they have to, and Stalker did manage to pull that 1v2 clutch.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was either Supreme or Superman who did the similar in week 1. It was a 1 versus 1 versus 2, and a Purgatory, if my memory serves me right, was where he pulled it off. So we've seen things like that in the past, and we could see so much more in the future. This map, Tanya, I think expectations now are set with Alpine, right? I feel like there are some teams that have a very good understanding of how to run this map, and there are some teams who are still struggling. And a lot of teams who are in that midfield, and especially towards the bottom of the table, have been suffering from a stint of bad luck. A lot of these fights that they're taking, they essentially start getting sandwiched due to the timing and the rotation patterns that other teams have, and we've been seeing a lot of those engagements lead to one rat going and reviving, which kind of inflates the kill points, but still having so many kill points alongside your placements does help you get that stability. So yeah, I'm excited to see what week 2 has to offer. It's been an amazing first segment, Tanya, with a lot of different faces coming up to take a very, very notable performance. This means that the second half of the rotation, which both Mridul and Mamba have to do, are going to be more unpredictable, because every team in the server has had ample time to warm up and get in their juices.
And you know what exactly I noticed? Rabin did have a grenade launcher, and Regog made Rabin taste the exact bitter taste of medicine, and his own medicine, with the same grenade launcher finisher that he did give to several players in the lobby. And it is going to be Stalker taking away the MVP title for the map of Philippine here. 4 frags, 2 headshots and 3 assists, but still the damage is pretty high. So maybe he did get those knockers, which were not confirmed. So 4 kills for almost 3,000 points of damage, which is too much, but a good performance, because pulling that 1v2 was never too easy against him. He did own a sniper though, and he realized that if he's going to fall for the trap of close range battle, he's going to lose it. So he took a cover of a little bit of rock and a tree for as long as possible. So we bros again, though not that 20 kill and a booyah pattern, but with total of 11 frags and a booyah with total of 23 points in their name.
One thing that's actually scaring me is the fact that Vibros are playing so well even without Draco having to put much work in. And we've seen Draco, we've seen his nades, he can change any fight in the flip of a switch. Having that kind of power card in the back of your pocket certainly gonna put a sweat on everybody else. And Vibros, yet again, continuing their trend of consistency. High Voltage didn't fall back that far behind as well, Tanya. They placed position 4, which keeps them in a position where they can keep the lead, but not by a lot. Sure, they have a decent bit of kill points, but ALE, in the grander scheme of things, have evened it out in this bigger picture. So ALE going to be pretty happy with the way this day has been unfolding. Although it feels like after every single game, Tanya, MLE are in the same spot. They were 100 points before we started the stream, and now they're 105 points behind. So even though ALE are playing pretty decent, this is not the caliber that they need to deliver if they need to top this table. So we need to see a change of face. We need to see a change of form from them and a lot more teams. And to bring you that change of face and form, we not only have a short break, but we also have Mamba and Myrtle to take the mic as me and Tanya are going to head off for the day. We're going to enjoy this Free Fire action, and so should you. So be wary, be ready, because these are going to be crucial games for a crucial championship.
A beautiful evening of some amazing plays continues. Welcome back everyone to Free Fire Nepal Championship 2022. Today is the league stage, day number 4. Joining me here as my co-caster is going to be Mamba Senior, and let's begin with the last 4 matches of the day.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be a pleasure. It's going to be a lot of fun to cast these matches as well, because you talk about Bros dominating on day number 1. And yet again, here they are repeating the exact same thing they did on the first day and getting 2 back-to-back booyahs.
Exactly, because on the day number 1, we discussed that they had a booyah on the game number 3, then game number 4, then 5, and then 6. 4 booyahs back-to-back. Will Bros be able to do it again? Because, again, High Voltage maintained a great difference with Bros, and then Bros is back with power, back with all the game that they have got. Again, the series is going to be same. Bermuda as game number 5, Kalahari as game number 6, game number 7 is going to be the Purgatory map, and then now not new, but actually Alpine map introduced in the game number 8, and this region is the first region who is going to witness the Alpine map playing in the competitive series. And also the region is young, the power is young, and the competition is also young. Talking about the total standings as of now, Bros is right now leading the table with 383 points on the board. Backing them is High Voltage on the 2nd position with 325 points, and Anam Lama Esports. Yes, we talk about this team now having the same number of points as High Voltage. They're also there on the 3rd position. They're lacking the kills, and right now they do have some highest points on the map of Alpine. But if you talk about the performance, ALE is looking really beautiful, and they might be crossing High Voltage today. Moonlight Esports on the 4th position, then we have Kukuri Esports on the 5th, and that's how the series continues. All the players look really good. Mamba, what's your take on this?
Oh, the players are looking sharp, no doubt about that. Let's talk about Bros once again, right? They started off 298 points, and I think they have 383 now, so that's quite a distance they've covered. They've managed to get 85 points in 4 games, and that's insane. Trust me, that's absolutely insane with the current point system, and it just goes on to show that the kind of synergy they have as a unit, the kind of firepower they have individually, is just too hard for any other team on the server to match. But then again, High Voltage has consistently caught up with them, no doubt. They've also been really, really consistent. Day 1, they had 136 points. Day 2, they had 155 points. You talk about ALE as well. On day 1 and day 3 is when they played, right? 139 and 126 points respectively. So, of course, they've been doing really, really well for themselves. But apart from that, the top 3 teams, right, are in a different league altogether. But the teams apart from that are struggling quite a bit. But nonetheless, the playing path is right here, and rather surprising playing path. It doesn't usually go from east to west, but here it is.
Well, yeah, the teams have started. Nipsar Esports dropping off on the Sentosa Island. Then we have Kukuri Esports going towards and gliding towards the Cape Town. Whereas now we also see High Voltage going towards the Clock Tower on Mars Electric, and quite a good split drop choosing the area of Pochinok 2. Whereas we have a blue tier loot, and that's going to be conquered by most of the teams, as Bros is going to initiate a good fight with Anam Lama Esports as a drop off on the Catalyst Tower. Whereas they have a good split too. Chandrasurya is going to be near about them, and Moonlight Esports on the shipyard. Yes, you know, there is an initial fight, whereas Rocket from Chandrasurya is also present, and there you go. Guns already in the hands, Deekshant and Supreme in the initial battle.
Oh, absolutely, but look at Suman though. He's right behind them. He hasn't taken that fight, but Deekshant is going to find the opening. Deekshant has been one of those players who always pops off with the team. But talking about Chandrasurya Esports as well, they need to run away. They don't have a lot of weapons to work with. And if they get stuck over here, they will be caught with their pants down, and they need to walk away from this. But here we go, all these teams battling it out. Sumit trying his best to find some weapons to work with, but he's going to struggle. He's not going to find the best weapons. But regardless, having something is better than not having anything. Lone Wolves in the meantime, they found a kill for themselves, but they need to run away as well. Neon, knowing that he doesn't need to take that fight, will fall back to his team, and Luffy in the meantime is just chilling in that compound.
Well, yes, exactly. Lone Wolves right now, they do know that how to initiate the exact fight which is going to help them. They had a kill in the start, and now they are just leaving, and they're just emptying their initial drop. Whereas if you talk about Chandrasurya and Bros is on a verge of elimination, whereas Rohit is already leaving. He knows that he has to revive all of his teammates, whereas Hari completes his 3rd kill. Drago Giaji goes out of the map, faces an elimination. But yes, one player is still surviving. Rohit will already be looking out for some revivals, as we still have 20 to 30 seconds more with them to get those initial pickups. Whereas now we see a fight between Shripaj and Team SE. Okay, one more initial file coming in. Whereas Sanura Gaming Esports, already we see Aryan in a close range fight. There goes Duke. with a shotgun. That's a Max 7 coming up in front of you. And there he goes. 1, 2, 3, but no. Aryan with the P90 confirms the kill and Achieve providing the best cover possible. Gets a knock on Tama.
Absolutely, yes, they've lost out on a player, no doubt about that, but they can always get him back. The question is Xeon going to survive over here? Because sure, he has a chrono shield, but it's going to fall off at some point. Kush finding a pick on the Xeon, and Achieve and Aryan are the only 2 players surviving over here for the team. But Aryan wants to push up. The question is this the right choice to make? Is this the right decision?
No.
Because I think that we'll find that out once we see the result of this fight, because otherwise, I think he might just get taken out, and he will.
Well, that's an open compound fight, whereas you have created a push, you have just banged on to Shripaj. They have all the positions. They know that they're going to be teams arriving here. Whereas now, Sanura Gaming Esports are facing all the repercussions for that. All of them in the open, one by one, with providing the perfect cover. Shripaj is doing a lot of damage on Sanura Gaming Esports. Only 1 player survives, whereas Moonlight Esports is now on the shipyard. They are just completing their initial loot, whereas facing some usual fall damage, and they do have 1 team near about them. Okay, Kush gets a revival on one of his teammates. Now Lone Wolves engage against Moonlight Esports. Shots coming in on Ram. Ram gets knocked out, and Neon is all set to fire his shots on Sudhir. Here comes the guy. Here comes the guy on the back, and Sudhir gets a knock on Neon, whereas Neon had his eyes forced on the player, but no, Sudhir will lead the charge, and now going in the open, he has his eyes on Sasidon. Sasidon in the close range with the M1014 shotgun, gets a reload, already tagged for 130 HP, once again goes back to the player and gets a glue wall ready in front of him. Superman confirms his kill, and now a push straight forward coming on towards Moonlight Esports.
Absolutely, but Sasidon is going to get taken down. The problem is, Sasidon is going to get taken down, and he doesn't have any help coming his way. He might just get finished. He will, as a matter of fact. He has fallen down as well, and Superman and Arjun are the only 2 players surviving. XM1014 versus the Max 7. What wins? The Max 7, of course. And that's why we call it the Swag 7 as well. But Arjun will jump down, drawing on 130 points of health. Will use the inhaler to get back up on his feet. But Luffy jumping down to find the point. Whoa. The question is really aggressive. Does find a knock. Needs to find the second as well. Needs to stay alive. But the chrono shield is not going to allow that to happen. And Luffy somehow is still surviving, but finally will get taken down. And it all comes down to Shaq, who's all alone. But Lone Wolves, LW, all out, all down, and they will be kicked off the server.
Well, yes, Chandra Surya wanted to have a third party in this very fight, but again, Moonlight Esports had this ground. They were already situated well enough, whereas they have lost 2 teammates. Must be revived anytime soon, but now we have a fight between High Voltage and Napestar Esports on this very ridge near about Sentosa Island. High Voltage is all set. Napestar Esports have arrived from Sentosa Island, and now an initial fight cooking up. Cripress going from the right hand side, and whereas Poison already having his eyes on all of the teammates, and now he goes down, makes a glue wall for his team. Pikachu trying to provide all the cover. They got the grenade. Deekshant reviving all of his teammates from Anam Lama Esports, and whereas Napestar Esports have lost one of their teammates, dealing some shots, and here from the back comes the guy from High Voltage, Yuri with the Swag 7, as you say, gets a knock on Simons, and the kill is completed.
The kill is completed, but unknown, he will get taken down. It's all on to Pikachu all alone over here. Needs to run away, needs to stay alive, needs to keep the hopes of his team up and running, but High Voltage, they're not going to back down. We've seen this team make it work, and we've seen this team be aggressive. We know what a force they are. 3 kills already, all the 4 players surviving, 11 teams and 34 players survive on the server while we're 7 minutes into the matchup. And Yore will try and push up Poison in the meantime, uses the Woodpecker, trying to get that pick onto Pikachu, but that's not going to happen because Pikachu has solid code to work with. But in the meantime, Poison will maybe just land a kill shot onto him. Nope, that's not going to be him. It's going to be his teammate, Kripesh, who's going to find that kill. And yeah, High Voltage off to a rolling start.
Well, High Voltage it is. If we talk about Vibros Mamba, you know you're going to support them because they have been performing, but you can't leave this team. this is the team who have once dropped down vBros from the top of the chart. Well, once again, they're leading with a lead of 60 points, and now they have Anam Lama Esports in front of them. All of them have been picked up. High Voltage getting 4 initial kills, and now Anam Lama Esports is already on a roll. Gets an initial pick on Hurry, gets a knock on Rocket, and with that, one player survives in the close range with a side, gets a kill confirmation. Kush being the savage guy, and with that, within 15 seconds, the whole squad is down. That's Anam Lama Esports for you. 8 kills, and now they're just leading the charge with all the weapons boomed up. Sahil and MGXTHA will get all the loot because they were just revived. They were brought back to the game, and once again, they're ready for all the amazing battles that they're going to deal with. Mars Electric is the next zone where we have Team Reunited, Kukuri Esports and B4M not engaging in initial fights, focusing on the zone. Well, yes, that's a good decision for them. Whereas High Voltage, they have 4 initial kills and have the perfect circle position according to me. But are they really going to go towards Kukuri Esports is going to be a big question.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But look at Achieve the way. I'm not quite sure he's headed because he's going back, and I'm not sure if he wants to get his team back, but there is a plan for sure, and he wants to go out and wander off outside the zone, as a matter of fact, inside the blue zone. But regardless, rebros on a great rotation. We talk about the zone, it's on to Mars Electric. I think it's a fairly decent zone because there's a lot of high ground to work with. There's enough solid cover as well. And Achieve, I'm sure, trying to get his teammates back. Tapa will jump back into the server. He's going to get back in the zone, and she needs to stay alive. A lot of information being relayed by Tapa as well while he's up in the air. So, a very pivotal work, very important, and this could be the differentiator between them getting a decent spot or being eliminated early on in the game.
Well, yes, exactly, because right now, Mamba, we do know that the zone is also closing in, whereas they have a lot of work to do. Tapa already choosing to go towards the southern side. Oh yes, there is going to be one more fight for Anam Lama Esports. It's such a beauty to see all of those fights where Anam Lama Esports going towards zone, and within 10 seconds, once again, these are the fighters, these are the barrel takers. They just need 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and once you give them that amount of time, you have another squad vibe in front of you. Okay, Anam Lama Esports already giving shots to players coming outside the zone. Just leave them. Go towards the next zone, man, because right now they also have a battle in front of them. Anam Lama Esports confirming their kill on Kush. 12 kills already up on the board. Anam Lama Esports, yes, they want to beat High Voltage and come on the table as second position.
Oh, absolutely. They want to get as high as possible. There's no doubt about that. But swimming along with his teammates are going to be pushing in. And Anam Lama Esports obviously being the kill leaders that they are. They've played really aggressive. It's worked out in their favor. And
yeah.
in the meantime, Shri Panch is going to try and pick this fight. Poli being super aggressive, but Dada is going to be waiting it out. The question is who's going to be the first point of contact? Who wants to break that ceasefire and come out on top? But of course, Tope is going to try and push in. The question is he going to get spotted? I think he will get spotted,
yeah.
but he will find it here.
Team Reunited have waited for a long time, and with that, they knew there was a guy holding that position. Straightforward in, gets a position of Tamang from all the teammates. He had all the intel that he needed. Straightforward, M1887, 2 shots, and the man is gone. Team Reunited already having one of the good spots, but now again, the zone goes north as they really need to move towards the Mars Electric side. And already, I feel really good for Team High Voltage, as somewhat or the other, there was a decision in my mind that the zone is going to be going towards the Koratwa side. But again, it's here on the Mars Electric, where High Voltage have the height advantage, and they have all the high power that they need to just engage in all of those fights. B4M also have been silent throughout the map, beg for mercy. They need to get those kills, because Mamba, if we have seen teams climbing up the chart, that is because of the kills that they get. But no, B4M is again looking for a passive strategy.
Well, I'm not quite sure if being a pacifist will help over here, because you need to get those kills, you need to get those headshots if you want to get out on top. They have the Dragonov to work with, along with I'm not sure. Wait, so they want to rotate, but they're playing a split strategy, and Cosmic just going straight in with the bike. I'm not quite sure what the idea is over here. If he comes out on top of this one, I would be very surprised, but I hope that is not going to happen. Shri Punch will get eliminated over there in position number 7. And yeah, no, I'm not quite sure what the idea was, but MJ, He's going to try and take those shots. He wants to win that fight. It was so desperate. But will get taken down. Sahil trying to run in, but he needs to stay alive. The glue wall's being deployed, but the zone is eating up the HP. They need to go in. They're being pushed in, but the problem is on their backs, on their six, they have the zone in front of them. It's draining it.
Well, there is a lot of difficulties right now for Anamnama Esports, as they really want to go inside the zone. On one side they have Team Reunited, another there is Kukuri Esports not wanting for them to enter the zone. Dekshant is once again going to be the lone survivor. Once he had performed the best and he revived all his team, but today again in this game he had to perform his best. In the same game where he's the lone survivor, he has all of the weapons that he needs, but again he doesn't have the zone. rebros and Kukuri Esports already having the best position in the zone. Team Reunited also coming from the back. ALE was covered from both the sides, and now they have an enemy already ready to hunt them down.
Ready to hunt them down, but Supreme taking a couple of pot shots will have to heal himself up as well. And rebros, look, they don't have any kills, but they're still in the top 5. This is exactly the kind of consistency I've been talking about, because you don't always need kills. You don't always need kill points.
Whoa!
Even though they have a lot of them. But Raza, in the meantime, might just get taken down. He has the on to work with, but can he find the shot? Can he connect the shot? He's trying really, really hard.
Whoa!
But he's not connected. Oh no, he gets taken down. What in the world is going on right now? Raza still surviving, connecting one more shot. One bullet away from getting that kill as well, securing it. But Tope, in the meantime, will wait it out behind the blue wall. And the shot thought out to work with. Has the shotgun, but the problem is, can he push in? That is a question. He tries to push in, needs to deploy one more blue wall, needs to reload, but can he stay alive? I don't think so. Will get taken down by Poison. And Anamnama Esports being eliminated over there.
Well, yes, exactly. There was no such way where Anamnama Esports could survive in this fight. And once again, we see how amazingly Raza with that AWM gets a shot on that moving vehicle. A headshot indeed, and gets a knock on one of the team enemies. Whereas now Kukuri Esports also have their eyes on two of the teams. Kukuri Esports already outside the zone. They need to get a good position. rebros, the zone is not going to support any of those teams. Whereas one of the players from the enemy team, that is Team Reunited, already decided to go inside the zone. rebros already moving for the next zone. Whereas Kangzo gets eliminated outside the zone. And now we have 3 players from High Voltage, 3 players from Kukuri Esports, High Voltage, and rebros. rebros, this game, they don't have any amount of kills, but this time they tried a passive strategy and it worked out well. What works out well can get them a hat-trick booyah in this very match, and if they get a hat-trick booyah, the history is once again getting repeated, where they kind of have a chance to get 4 games back to back. Now Team Reunited also moving for the next zone as the warning comes up. Team Reunited already having the best position. Rohit gets shot down. Drago Giaji gets a knock on Golayo, whereas Drago Giaji is now climbing up a good height position, also having his eyes on Kukuri Esports.
Oh, absolutely, but will get taken out. Puneet is not going to miss that shot. Had the drive to work, but gets that kill. Rohit, in the meantime, just waiting it out. Needs to fall back. His teammate has been taken down, but Stalker is not going to miss those shots. He was lurking around, raining death upon them, and Stalker taking shots again and again and again, trying to dish out as much damage as possible. While Supreme pushes around the corner, takes those fights, and they might just come on top of this one. Stalker has been taken down. Supreme is the only player alive, but can Supreme stay alive long enough? That is the question. It doesn't have it. Yeah, you being eliminated. High Voltage is still alive. rebros struggling so much, but will get eliminated on position number 3. And it's only 2 teams, Kukuri and High Voltage. High Voltage being so aggressive, so aggressive, and being that consistent. But Kukuri has 1 more kill than them, but they lost out on a player. Yeah. Being the kill leaders that they are, they might have a lot of confidence to work with, but the numbers game favors High Voltage, and Lure trying to push in. Can he find the big door? That is a question. The third person's advantage lying with Kukuri Esports. Lure trying to push in, might just get taken down. He's still surviving somehow. 96 points of health, but he might just get outgunned. Lure fighting kill on the Rabbit. All alone. Kukuri Esports, they won't be able to do anything. Poison getting the last blow, and High Voltage coming out on top of this one.
The last blow said it all. The words were said by the weapons. High Voltage with all the thunders in the map number 4, in the map number 5 for today. Bermurite was on a booyah for Team High Voltage. Well, exactly what they wanted it to be like. Again, Kukuri Esports, they had a strong hold on our team, but they weren't able to secure that booyah against Team Vibros. Now Team High Voltage comes up, and now they have all the amount of kills, all the amount of performance in this game, and gets a booyah. Leading a charge against Team Anamlama Esports, they're now the contenders for the #2 position.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They are now the contenders for the second position. But look, the way High Voltage played was brilliant. I'm really happy for Kukri Esports as well, because they were looking so sharp. The only problem was they do not have that numbers advantage, because 2v3 fight is always difficult, and especially when two players gang up on you and you don't have a lot of space to work with, you don't have a lot of wiggle room. That's when it becomes a problem, and both of them sandwiching you, right? So there's really not a way out. But Vibros, once again, I will talk about them. It might seem like, that's the only team we talk about, but look at the consistency. They might not have kills. They lost out on 3 players, which they had to revive as well. But they made sure that they get into the top 5. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Consistency is the name of the game, and if you can be in the top 5 in every single game, you will qualify for the Grand Finals easily.
Well, yes, exactly. Vibros didn't have a great start in this match, and from that very position, Rohit knew how to revive his teammates, just get picked up. Once now you already engaged in an attacking fight, you didn't have that well, so just go passive, and till the end they survived. Yes, they did get around 3 to 4 kills from this map, but a good position, whereas they were being consistent throughout all the games, and now even if they haven't got a booyah in this match, they still have the top 5 with them. So a good one for them indeed. But again, high congratulations to High Voltage once again, showing their name and proving why they are the powerful ones.
Yeah, I like how you said high congratulations to High Voltage. Good wordplay over there, but of course, they've been very consistent as well. Look, we talked about them on day 1. Day number 3, if I'm not mistaken, they played again. And all in all, they're like the less aggressive version of Vibros. As a matter of fact, no, High Voltage is a more aggressive version of Vibros, because Vibros knows when to step. High Voltage, on the other hand, they're always running high on octane, and they don't want to step back. They're always going to go in and take those fights and do justice to the game. High Voltage, all the action that they have, so entertaining to watch.
Indeed, it was a shocker too, right, Mamba? Whereas we always see Vibros with a lot of kills, and then again, when you come to the second last circle, we see WB, and there is 0 kills on the chart. So that was quite a good surprise for us. But High Voltage had the zone. They had Lure as one of the best fraggers for them, getting 4 kills, 2 assists, a damage of 1,219 with 3 headshots, 0 revival and 0 revival members. But again, he was just focusing on the attacking power for the team, and again, he did it right.
And again, he did it right, but of course, 4 kills, 3 headshots. Here's the thing, right? Even with 4 kills, he has 1,200 damage, which means he picked and chose his fights. It wasn't every single fight he was taking. He did not dish out a lot of damage, but when he did pick that fight, he was clinical. He made sure that he guarantees those kills, and very efficient with his damage, very efficient with his shooting as well. So resources obviously is not usually a problem, but High Voltage coming on top with 22 points is definitely going to help them. Vibros, on the other hand, only being able to secure 9 points because they did not have any kills whatsoever. You look at the placement points, right? According to the placement points, they should have been position 4. Even if they had like 5 or 7 kills, they would have been in the top 5. But unfortunately, they were not able to get kills, and that's the reason why they're outside.
Well, yes, exactly, Mamba. Right now, according to the revival, the resurrection points that have come up, teams do get all the kills that they need. But again, if you talk about Anam Lama Esports, even if they were eliminated on the 5th or the 6th position, yes, they were eliminated on the 5th position, but they had 15 freaking kills. And because of those kills, they're right now standing at the 2nd position. Even if they haven't got a booyah in this game, they're again just 1 point behind High Voltage, and that's how they're still leading a good game for them. Yes, we have the total standings in front of us. 392 points for Vibros. They are consistent. High Voltage at the 2nd position with 347, and ALE just 1 point behind them with 346. Emily behind 100 points. If you say 100 points, that's the difference between 3rd and 4th position. So again, that's a good competition between 4th, 5th and 6th position. But again, to cover that distance between 3rd and 4th, it's going to take 2 more days where we are going to see C group against A group once again coming on the day number 3.
But here's the thing, Ridul, I'll tell you one thing. You look at the bottom 5 teams, right? They've struggled quite a bit. Some of them have not even been able to get any points whatsoever, and it's rather unfortunate because it's not good for your confidence. But at the same time, I can tell you one thing for sure: that there's a massive skill gap between all these 18 teams as well. Because if you talk about championship contenders, right, championship quality teams, it's probably like the top 4, not even top 5. But all the other teams. Look, here's the thing: the way I see it is there's S tier teams, which are the top 4 teams, and there's tier 1 teams, which are probably team number 5 to team number 14 in the overall standings, and the rest of the teams are falling off. So definitely need more teams, more players. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to hop into Kalahari over here and the plane path. Fairly default, of course, the other direction, but we will see some hot drops coming up over here.
Well, yes, the plane path has been a lot more favoring towards all of the teams, whereas they have all of their drops close towards the flight path. Yes, Kukuri Esports is going to go towards Confinement, Moonlight Esports towards Oldhampton, then you have Lone Wolves towards the Shrines, V-Bros on Refinery, Nepstar Esports on Command Post. But on the blue tier loot, you have 3 teams. The names already stated up, and you know it's the drop of Mammoth, with some amazing damage to be dished out within the first 2 minutes. There you go. First knock of the game. Hari gets a knock on Anam Nama Esports Sahil. Dikshan gets a trade on Hari, but Hari confirms his knock. KRS Chal gets a knock on Sanura Gaming Esports, whereas Anam Lama Esports have lost Sahil. MGX THA already going to go towards another side of the map. Going to get a recall, a resurrection in this game. KRX Chal gets another knock on another team. That's Beck for Mercy. 3 names we have already read till now. Where's the 4th name? Because it's just been 1 minute and 30 seconds and we have already seen a quadra kill coming up. Chandra Surya on a roll where they're dishing out a lot of damage, but again, their players are getting finished up. Suman gets a kill confirmation on Rocket, and now only 2 players survives. That's a good 2-way battle, a 3-way battle we can say, because B4M is being silent right now. They don't have the weapons for this fight, whereas CEHS are looking to fall back. Sumit gets a good decision in his name. He's going to fall back. He's going to recall all of his teammates. And once they come back, they're going to have a good fight in this game.
Once they come back, they will have a good fight in the game. But Abiral needs to stay alive for that. He can't walk away. The problem is, if he gets taken down, then it's all over. But Topi in the meantime is going to take a lot of damage. Dikshan, once again, just being on the forefront of taking all these fights. You almost saw a 3-way fight between Beck for Mercy, CHS, and Anam Lama Esports. But at the same time, Abiral taking so much damage. He needs to run away. I think the question, Topi, right? The dome, I'm not quite sure if he was inside the chrono shield, but regardless, he will be spotted. He might just get taken down, but he's actually going to find a kill. For Mercy being eliminated, position number 12. This is exactly what I was talking about. Abiral being taken down, and he had to stay alive to have any sort of chance for his team to come back.
Well, yes, once again, we have Team High Voltage. All of the teammates who are surviving right now survive only for one reason. That's resurrection for you. You're going to recall your teammates once again to the battle. Perfect! Perfect it was. What a beautiful way to end the whole squad. High Voltage Novi with a perfect grenade on Sanura Gaming Esports. And that's an end for the team. Wow.
Well, look at the zone though. I mean, you could be literally anywhere on the map and still be inside the zone. There's nothing to worry about. But of course, the next one is something that you will have to worry about. But Webros, in the meantime, towards Refinery. Supreme is so far away. So far away. And we might just see a fight between Webros and High Voltage because Supreme is being a little sneaky, being a little too ambitious. And if he gets engaged over there, then that is going to be a massive problem.
Yeah, exactly, because right now, if the players don't decide to be at the good position where they have all the zone advantage, it's going to be a big problem. But a big problem arise for Team Reunited, as Anam Nama Esports have already recalled all of their teammates, and the way they are situated against Team Reunited, that's going to be a 3-way battle for them. There's no other team, but again, the way Team Anam Lama Esports is situated, gets a knock on one of the teammates. Raza looks really bad on the position, whereas another player goes down. Golalo is on his knees. Yes, MGXTHA, a good trade coming in for the side of Team Reunited. Khatri is the lone survivor right now in the open. MGXTHA already caught up. Dikshant is trying to provide all the cover, whereas MGXTHA is in a bad position, tries to finish his teammate, but Dikshant is trying his level best. Suman gets his kill confirmation. Khatri gets the whole player out of the game, and now they have decided Khatri needs to be vanished, needs to be out of this game as soon as possible. Oh, Suman could have been revived at this moment, but again, a recall is still remaining. Dikshant and Sahil are the last two players surviving at this very moment, whereas now the other zone is also closing in. They have a zone to right now look out for. CEHS, only one player recall. Team Reunited, focus in their hand, but all they have is just one player surviving.
Yeah, well, look, sometimes one player is all you need, but a lot of times it's not enough. And in the meantime, Dikshant is going to push in. He only has 3 kills for himself. And Anam Lama Esports having 7 kills and all their players alive, all of them being revived as well, as a matter of fact. So it's been rolling. Every single player has been knocked out once, and this sort of has created, right? This new mechanic has created this new meta where teams are a lot more aggressive than they should be. And but the good thing is that we get to see constant action. It's very spectator friendly. It's a lot of entertainment. And all in all, I'm just glad to see this change, I'll be honest. But Superman, in the meantime, trying to tap away, not going to connect with anything because there's a wall right in front of him. Here's my question to you, Mridul. Which team, apart from the obvious 4, would you bet your money on if you had to?
Well, yes, exactly. Right now, apart from the obvious 4, I have a lot of expectations from Moonlight Esports. Indeed, they're right now lurking around 4th or 5th position. But again, today, as we know that Group A is going to go out, then again on day 2, we are going to have Group B versus Group C. A team who is right now wanting to be in the top 3, I have all my money on Moonlight Esports because they have been showing like in and out performances. But again, if they get consistent, it's all about consistency when it's all about 8 against Mamba. And again, yes, Moonlight Esports can do it.
We'll see. We'll see if that happens. The Shri part in the meantime. Look at Holy flying through wall, just waiting it out. The Juke being super aggressive. He would get that kill with the M24, but he needs to fall back. And the M24 recently being introduced, right? A very powerful, very potent weapon. In the meantime, Juke again needs to win the kill. Tapping away with the revolvers, but he needs to fall back and needs to heal himself up. He's going to use the inhaler. That's how the glue also work with. As a matter of fact, glue also work with. The problem is he's going to start himself on the shot. Whoa! They're taken down as well, making a shot before, but not enough, not being able to get the headshot.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a beautiful one. Once again, gets that shot connected on Rabin. But Kukuri Esports have already dealt the damage on Shripaj. Last player surviving, Tamang, goes in the open, had no hope remaining. Kamso gets the headshot connected, and with that, Shripaj gets eliminated at the 9th position. Now you have 8 teams left in this game, 28 players surviving. High Voltage gets spotted as Ali already had their power strong, already had their hold strong on the drop of Mammoth, and now High Voltage have came here like hunters, but again they're going to be hunted out as MGXTH gets another kill confirmed. Poison gets taken down by Dikshant, and now just a blink of an eye and already 2 players confirmed from High Voltage, 2 players remaining. How are they going to deal it against Team Anam Lama Esports?
Well, I guess we'll have to find out, but Dikshant in the meantime is going to jump off the rock. He's trying to run away, but the question is, Tyler has the grenade not to work with it. Might just be perfect time, but someone comes in from behind and gets that kill, so a nade being wasted. But that's not a problem as long as you get that point, because that point might just be the differentiator between you making it or not. But 9 minutes in, we still have 8 teams and 25 players alive. And Anam Lama Esports with 10 kills already. Yeah. Imagine having half the kills, at least more or less half the kills which have already been taken on the server being in your name. So that's a lot of aggression. That's a lot of confidence. We bros, on the other hand, have slowed down quite a bit, but they're still surviving. They're still alive, and they want to play the long game.
You know, that's the beauty of an IGL when you have Drago GRG as one of the best grenadiers in the Nepal region, and once again, IGLing so perfectly for the team. We bros thought they have been aggressive very well for all of those games, and when they had a bad game coming up, they remained passive and again got the top 5. So again, some good strategies picked up by their side. If the aggression is not working, there comes the passiveness, and again they are proving themselves right in both the halves. Once again, now Navstar Esports is going to have a good position. They're right now wanting to move towards the next circle as it has already moved out of command post. Yes, there comes a warning. Whereas Kukuri Esports Kangzo is already dealing a lot of damage from the zone. And the 3 players are just running before Navstar Esports see them. Because already they have 3 to 4 squads against them. And they have a zone as the 6th squad coming right behind them.
Oh well, but Sudhir in the meantime is going to tap away, but the question is, can he find the kill though? Being so ambitious, he's exposing himself, but he will find the kill. Look at that though! So crucial, those points. Every single kill counts, every single point counts, but using the grapple to go push in, along with the teammate, and Sassidon just waiting it out. He's on the edge of the zone, he might be able to find a pick or two, but we bros, I believe they are struggling a little bit. They need to go in, but look at Stalker just going in, he will find a pick as well. Arjun not noticing him! What is going on with Stalker? Using his abilities to perfection and getting that kill.
Indeed, Drago, JRG, Stalker, Rohit, Supreme, all of the 4 players being perfect with all the roles that they have. Stalker just needs to provide the cover, just goes with the team, and once again proves why he's one of the best sniper for his team. Now, leading the charge, V-Bros is going towards the next circle. Moonlight Esports gets spotted. Stalker tried his level best, but again, Superman was accurate with his aim. Superman gets his kill confirmed, and now the launch pad is all set for the next circle to arrive. 10 seconds remaining as the 3rd circle is about to close.
Well, Sumit, in the meantime, will come down. He has taken so much damage, but in the meantime, CHS losing on a player. Kyachal, here's the problem. He was really aggressive, needs to stay alive, otherwise he might just get eliminated. But the problem is that there's no help around him. Supreme in the meantime trying to push in. Rohit tapping away, but he will get knocked down as well. Sumit replying back so quickly, and Drago needs to fall back. He only has 76 points of health to work with, but he could potentially pick that fight again.
A potential is all we need from a team. There goes the grenade launcher. Goes right. Just one bullet needed. Drago GRG, the perfect rusher with the perfect grenadier, gets a kill confirmed. V-Bros is all set and looking really good to go towards the next zone. But if we talk about the other side, Anand Lava Esports with 10 kills. Gets a knock. Sumit. Sahil with the perfect blow. Gets a grenade launcher ready. 2 players from Kukuri Esports already going down now. It's all in the hands of Puneet and Kangzo to save their team where they have the zone also coming for them. Sahil with a blow of some beautiful grenades is dealing the perfect damage. Dikshan taking a position on the left hand side also gets some damage, whereas Pikachu confirms his kill on Stalker with a sniper.
Well, Sahil in the meantime just waiting it out. Doesn't want to be too aggressive, but ELE 12 kills.
Oh,
Can
no.
you believe that? The amount of aggression that they've shown, the amount of kills that they have is unbelievable, unfathomable, and they're still not done. The game is far from over. 16 potential kills to get, and they could definitely walk away with a 20 kill booyah if they play the calls right. But in the meantime, Dikshan is going to be pushing in. Does he have any information? Yes, indeed he does. He does get shot at, but the problem is he might just get savage. He has a grenade launcher to work with. Look at that,
Wow.
Dikshan, you monster! So smart, so smart. Played his cards to perfection. Made sure he uses a glue wall, abuses it, baited a couple of shots as well. But Supreme not being able to connect those shots is really difficult. But grapple being used to perfection over there.
Yeah, exactly, because right now we still have 4 to 5 squads remaining, whereas the next zone is already closing in. CHS, 2 players surviving, trying to get the shots connected on Navstar Esports, whereas one more team is also going to go in the open. Now, you don't have the perfect covers. All you need is the perfect team coordination, the perfect decisions, the perfect timing to enter the next circle, because some of the teams still have those houses present, and even if they are on the edge of the circle, they have a lot of advantage. Navestar Esports, well, they do know the position of Hurry as he will connect one of the shots on the enemy team, but again, Simon's making up the glue wall, healing himself with the best power. Now shots coming in from MLE. They also have to deal it against them. But again, Hurry goes down as there was a good third party from Moonlight Esports. Navestar Esports spotting Anam Lama Esports. And shots are also being on towards them. Navestar Esports having 4 kills. The zone is again closing in. CHS. Only one place was remaining. Drago GRG. They're shattering the dreams. And with that, CHS Chandrasurya Gaming gets eliminated at the 6th position.
Oh, Superman taking so much damage, but here's the problem, right? I've always said this, that high ground is not always an advantage in Kalahari, because when you're on top of the mountain and you need to fall back, or you need to jump down, that's exactly the case for high voltage. You might end up taking a lot of damage, and the problem is, even if you're using a grapple, you can't take a fight, and you're practically a duck for the opposition to get a kill on. But Webros have lost out on a lot of players. They have made it to the top 5, but this time around they have some kills, but the Anam Lama Esports in the meantime does not want to stop. And MJ is not going to shy away from taking no shots. Holding it on a little side as well.
Like, just look at Dekshant and Sahil being so damaging with all the weapons that they have, and the grenade launcher being so perfect. Accurate aim as Navestar Esports Mamba gets confirmed, and now Navestar Esports is surviving with 3 players in their hands. 15 kills on the board, and this team is still not stopping. What they're looking for is a Booyah Mamba, and they want it at any cost. Straightforward, rushing in outside the zone. That's a bad decision. That could land really bad for them. But again, they have taken the Jeopardy, and the Jeopardy lands bad for them as one of the player gets down on his knees. But again, Moonlight Esports take the chance on Vibros, and Vibros get eliminated on the 3rd position. Now it's Anam Lama Esports again. Moonlight Esports, I had my money on them, I had my vote on them. Can they get a booyah in this very game?
Well, Sasidon, in the meantime, is going to throw the nade away, but is that going to find a pick? I don't think so. It is 2v7, but MLE, they will not shy away. They want to get those kills. Moonlight Esports struggling, but Anam Lama Esports, in the meantime, doesn't want to hold back either. They played it to perfection so far. They might just walk away with a booyah as well. They don't have a lot of HP. The grenades raining in, but Anam Lama Esports with 17 kills. Can they make it 20? There's the question. 18 already. And they might just be able to walk away with 20 kills for themselves, unless, of course,
yes,
they do make it 21, as a matter of fact.
Wow. Oh. What is this silence?
I think the silence was definitely over there because, look, no amount of words can describe their performance, right? And the way they played is god tier. You have 48 teams, but just by the way, to break it down for all the audience watching that, you have 48 players on the server. 4 of which is your team. So you only have 44 players, and out of which you manage to get 21 kills. You know, that's literally half the server. They've dominated, they've decimated, they've destroyed half the server, and no words. Trust me, the more I try to find better words to use for this, there's no appropriate word for this. We
saw this coming. Yeah, we already have things like in our mind. We already saw this coming in the map of Bermuda. How Anam Lama Esports was just moving zone by zone. They didn't have the zone in the map of Bermuda, but again, when they had the zone on the map of Kalahari, they just utilized this to the best. Again, there was a team outside the zone, but Anam Lama Esports was just fearful. They didn't stop. They just wanted those kills at any freaking cost with the grenade launchers, with the perfect aim. Dekshant, Sahil, with all the aim that they got, they just went through it. 21 kills in this match. And I'm just mind blown right now how well they performed, how well they were coordinated. And that is what coordination looks like. Perfect team for this map. Perfect team in this game. And yes, Anam Lama Esports, at last, they have a booyah in their name.
Oh, absolutely. At last, they have a booyah in the name. But here's the thing. It's not just a booyah. It's not just any other booyah. The way they've gotten this, they've announced themselves. They've announced themselves to the region and to the world, saying that we're here for blood. and we will show no mercy. With 21 kills and a booyah, do the math for yourself. 12 plus 21. I can tell you one thing, that's a lot of points.
Exactly, because even with the revival meta coming into the play, Mamba, it's not possible to have 100 plus points in a game. But when you have names like Anam Lama, Esports, High Voltage, Vibros, it's just a piece of cake for these three teams being the top three. And look at this damaging guy. 7 kills, 7 assists, a damage of 4,015, and then again 10 headshot. Perfect and accurate aim, dealing all the damage and the headshots straight forward. The bullets going to the head. 1 revival for his team too. So good revival indeed. And again, Dikshant, my man, the prodigy indeed.
Well, we'll see what they have in store for us. But 33 points, Emily, Moonlight, right below them with 16. And Webros breaking into the top 3 once again. This is consistency. 12 points, sure. But look, it's still a decent position to be in because they have a lot of points. And I think that they're comfortably into the finals. Unless, of course, something crazy happens where Anam Lama Esports comes in. Or any other team, right, comes in with a performance like this back-to-back in 4 or 5 games in a row. That's when things could potentially change. But yeah, no, look at Webros crossing 400 points. How do you even describe something like this?
Well, yes, exactly. If you talk about the top 3, Mamba, again, they're having some amazing games right now. Even today, they're performing like they just want to dominate the server like hell. But again, even if they get 10 points, 8 to 10 points in each and every game, they're just peacefully climbing towards the grand finals. But again, if you talk about Moonlight Esports, Kukuri Esports, and Navestar Esports, we know that the top 6 is going to go. So again, they're just going to be pretty much silent again today. They just want to be consistent because tomorrow they're going to face Bitex, T2K, and even Zuki Esports coming into the chart. So again, they just have to be real at this moment. They just have to be ready at this moment for a fight tomorrow that they have against them. But again, talk about High Voltage, talk about Vibros, and talk about Anam Lama Esports. They're just amazing.
Of course, we'll talk about all of this, but right now it's time for a really short break, ladies and gentlemen. Do not go anywhere because we will be right back.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are once again back with Free Fire Nepal Championship 2022, and two games are still remaining for the day. What an amazing performance by Anam Lama Gaming Esports. A game indeed, 21 kills on the map of Kalahari as we still wait for Purgatory and Alpine map to come in. Mamba, over to you.
Well, look, here's the thing. We'll wait for the two matches, but it did not even feel like we went through these two matches. I'll be very honest. It felt like it's been one game. It was a blur. But then again, let's not forget the amount of action that we saw, right? That was crazy.
Indeed, it was crazy as we still wait for game number 7 and game number 8. Purgatory is going to be the next map, and game number 8 is going to be Alpine. Today we are witnessing the league stage, week number 2, day number 4, as it has just begun. And today it's going to be a good decider for Group A, how much lead that they're going to get, because now once they're going to come back on the day number 3, it's going to be a big up for them, as it's going to be the last day for the week where it's going to be decided who are going to be the top 6 teams straightforward going for the grand finals, while the other 12 teams go for the play-ins. Right now on the top 5 kill leaderboard, it's Poison from High Voltage with 77 kills, backing him up with a straightforward 7 kill performance in the previous one. Dikshan has 66 kills, Drago Giagi with 65, Sahil from the same team, Anam Lama Esports with 64, and again Stalker, the man, the sniper, with all the kills that he have got from the sniper rifles, 58 kills on the leader chart.
Well, look, all these kills, I'll be honest, I could only dream of. If I would ever hop onto a server, the amount of kills that these folks have, right, in the short span that they've played, I couldn't even begin to imagine. But look at the players, right? Look at the focus. Except for I think Essie over there. I'm not quite sure what he's thinking about, but he's definitely trying to get dialed in. But apart from that, every single team, right? Nepstar Esports, as a matter of fact, all zoned in, and we have CHS as well, Chandra Surya Esports, just warming up, making sure that everything's going good, and they have the best possible chance to win.
Yeah, indeed. The young talent, the young region and Nepal region that we talk about, Maba, is like on a roll right now. We have just started with this region, and we are like witnessing so big wonders right now. Today, once again, now is the time that we begin with the game number 7 that's going to the map of Purgatory. Week 2, day 4, game number 7, live in front of us. Yes, this is Free Fire Nepal Championship League stage going on right now, because today is day 1 for the deciders who are going to be qualifying in the grand finals, whereas the 12 teams will go for play-ins. Kukuri Esports going towards the golf course, Lone Wolves going towards the Marble Works, whereas we have 3 teams towards Central, that's Moonlight Esports, Sanura Gaming Esports, but again, Rabin is right now looking confused. Is he going to go for a long split, or is he going to be with his team? But Team Reunited, yes, we had our eyes on them, and Team Reunited is going to have an initial fight against Anam Lama Esports.
Yep, but Sripash, they're not going to hold back. If they get into fight with High Voltage might push in, but Sripash will not want to fall back. In the meantime, Suman finding a pick. Dalda finding a pick as well, and Chandra Surya Esports finding the first blood. But they're going to struggle. There's only one player alive. Suddenly, everybody's going to fall down like a deck of cards. Rocket, all alone surviving, but how long? He doesn't have any weapons to work with, does not have any glue walls. He's trying to debate the entire team, but he will probably get taken down. And it's just a matter of time that DHS goes off the server. But beg for mercy. Quite literally making the other team beg for mercy, yeah?
Indeed, Mamba. And whereas you have already seen that Beg for Mercy isn't a team that is like looking out for some initial fights, but when they get them, they just make the team beg for mercy, which is against them. Again, indeed, they're playing really good. 3 kills from this initial fight, whereas one player has made it possible, is quite successful to just come out of this fight and leave the very area of Brasilia. And now High Voltage is still present on their position. Moonlight Esports up against Sanura Gaming Esports as they get the kill confirmation, whereas Anam Lama Gaming Esports just making Lone Wolves run, and Dikshan once again the man with the high frags, the man on the kill leaderboard, gets another kill confirmed for him.
Definitely does get a kill confirmed for him, but Superman, one of this team is just waiting it out. Superman also used to be a nickname of an old friend of mine who I just met yesterday online after I think after 8 or 9 years that we used to play together, so definitely brings back a lot of pleasant memories. But Sudhir, in the meantime, trying to push up, but the question is, will he be able to dish out any meaningful damage, because Emily is on top and actually will get taken down. So Nura Gaming Esports struggling quite a bit.
Oh yeah, Sanura Gaming Esports right now they're in a bit bad situation, as now, yes, they are reviving their teammates, but again, Moonlight Esports is right now looking really good as they're present on the Fire Brigade, whereas High Voltage, a good position for them. They are getting those vehicles, as now they have Shripach, and that's a call, that's a statement that Novi is making. They're already up for the fight. He has landed straight forward into the enemy territory and making a circle against them. What a big statement from the side of Novi, as he's just enjoying the rollover, seeing if any of those enemies is in the open so that they can get their hand on one of the first picks. But again, Shripach, they're not so easy, as they are all staying inside the best cover that they have.
Well, absolutely, but Noe, I'm not quite sure what the idea is, but he's running a riot on the bike over here and creating a distraction so that his team could move in. But the question is this going to work? Is this a valid strategy for them? Because while Poison, everybody else is really strong mechanically, you're not going to have a lot of chances to make it work. But Noe is taking so much damage. They need to start going in, and Shripa is losing out on players one by one, and the distraction actually works out.
It will work out so well because High Voltage already had a strategy in their mind. Whereas Shripach was looking for one guy, there are coming like two guys straight on them. Novi with a perfect grenade on Tamas gets a knock, and that is going to be a clean, beautiful wipe. MLE also on a roll, as they will confirm their kills on Sanura Gaming Esports. 4 kills for them in the city of Central, and now Nepsar Esports have their eyes on Team Beck for Mercy. Abirul already getting spotted, but Dada is in the close range. Mamba going against Cosmic, gets a knock and is all set with the MP5 for the second trade. But again, Dada with the Max 7, the Swag 7, gets 2 knocks back to back and is going to confirm that kill for his team. Abril here for a trade, but can he make that trade possible? Yes, gets a knock on Pikachu. Unknown comes in for a trade, gets a knock on Abril, and now it's all in the hands of Serpa. Serpa in the open, he will do it right and will save 2 of his teammates, whereas Cosmic is right now not surviving, but again, he will get recalled. He will once again get resurrected, and be back into the game. B4M Serpa saving the day, and now Nepsar Esports have been eliminated at the 11th position.
They have been eliminated at the 11th position, but here's the thing, we bros are playing split. They think the zone might not be guaranteed on which side it ends up, so they'll rotate accordingly, and that's a rather smart thing to do, especially when you know that there's a zipline available and you don't have to worry about areas around you as much because there's nobody else around you, as long as they have that information. But it looks like rotate along with this team, they're going to be rotating in both the players, as a matter of fact. But imagine if the zone ends up on the other side. That is going to be so unfortunate, but regardless, Kukuri Esports, they're surviving as well, and Lone Wolves just trying to make things work.
Right now, Lone Wolves looking like they're still wanting to have those initial kills, but again, that's all they need. What all they need right now was rotation. Again, Sanura Gaming Esports, that's an end for them in this game, as Kukuri Esports just chased the last person remaining, just chased the last player remaining, hunts him down, gets the kill, and that's all it. That's all done and dusted. Eliminated out of the game. It's Group A versus B, whereas right now we are witnessing some really good early wipeouts on the map of Purgatory, but now once again a fight that started pretty much early still survives because both the teams still have their 4 players surviving. But again, what if we see this fight once again happening, because Novi once again doesn't want to stop. He wants this fight to end. He wants this fight. Like they just want those 4 kills at any cost.
Oh, absolutely. They want those 4 kills at any cost, but high voltage in the meantime. What in the world? What? No, you. I'm honestly confused. I really don't know how does Treepatch not realize that somebody pushing them, and that's such a massive oversight. Losing out on your lives for free like that is just unfortunate. But high voltage, on the other hand, you have to give credit where credit is due. They pushed them perfect and they pushed from the perfect position and did not miss the opportunity from on top of that.
Look at Vibros. They go GRG in the close range. The Prodigy gets a kill confirmation with the M1887. Now that they have their eyes on players coming in from the height advantage, they aren't going to stop. Supreme gets a knock on Abral. A good cover provided by Dada from the left-hand side. But again, they have their players present. Again, it was Sopa who saved the team. But now it's a 2v3 fight for Team B4M to engage in. Rego Giaji getting shots from the height. A good height advantage that Team B4M have. A close range fight coming in for Rohit. Covered himself from both the sides. Now he was trapped inside the container. But again, this man won't stop. ALE for a third party. Anam Lama Esports indirectly, but a good save for Team Vibros.
Well, is that going to last long? That is the question. But Rohit is going to get taken in poison in the meantime. Will not miss those shots. Poison, I believe, is one of the strongest mechanically strongest players on the server and in the region because he's not missing his shots. Anam Lama Esports in the meantime, 7 kills once again. Might actually go in for an extended booyah, but the question is, will they be able to close it out with about 15 kills or so? 20 this time is going to be impossible, I believe. But Suman in the meantime will get knocked down. Does he get eliminated? But that is the question. Stalker is right behind that glue wall. Look at Ragged just taking it. Sweet, sweet time.
A sweet time for Anam Lama Gaming Esports, but indeed that sweet time is going to end in a meanwhile as High Voltage is reviving their teammates and they're once again back into the battle. Poison in a close range fight with Supreme. Loses it out against Supreme and gets eliminated. Now Anam Lama Gaming Esports having 8 kills for them. On the left hand side they have Vibros. Sahil gets to knock on Drago GRG and that's a straightforward kill confirmation. Anam Lama Esports just making the plays possible. What a beauty connected M82B with the perfect power, and with that Anam Lama Esports now they have 11 kills, 21 kills in the previous game, but again the zone is going far. They need to come back into the zone. Kukuri Esports going for a different strategy, moving from the left where no team is present, Mamba, at this very moment. But again, Anam Lama Esports goes straight forward inside the zone, or either Moonlight Esports is already well set to welcome you.
Well, Puneet in the meantime, along with his teammates, just waiting it out, but he's taking so much damage. Emily will not be silent in this one. They will not be silent. This could potentially be a 3-5 fight as well if Treepatch decides to engage. But Superman, just look at him. So cheeky. Putting that glue right next to the dispenser, sandwiching himself, and Sudhir in the meantime is going to wait it out and see what happens. But Superman wants to take those shots but doesn't have enough time, needs to deploy glue wall on fallback. And Sastidon just waiting it out. But Firebridge has 2 fights engaging, but none of them dishing out any damage, Mridul.
Yeah, exactly, because right now, if we even look towards Kukuri Esports, they have only 1 kill, but what they're looking for is the perfect spot, is the perfect game that they can survive for. Once again, Vibros is back in the game with the resurrections that have been present for them for a long time. 17 still surviving in this very short circle. Who is going to win is a bigger question right now, Mamba, because 17 surviving and we still have 25 players. That means all of the teams right now is fully strong with all the 4 players with them. So a good 4v4 battle is going to come up each and every time we are going to witness a fight, or even some third parties. Again, a warning pops up. Is the time that the players rotate for the next circle. Moonlight Esports a good strategy indeed, where they have a bridge camp, they have some good height advantage, they have 2 players situated outside the zone to stop players, but again High Voltage won't stop. Even if 2 players are remaining, they are going to be aggressive, they are going to be damage dealing, and once again proving with the perfect aggressive power that they have. Again, good to be spotted by Anam Lama Esports as only 2 players remaining. 2 versus 2. That's a fight that we really want to see.
That's definitely a fight we really want to see, but Dishant in the meantime is going to be healing himself up. We'll wait it out. We'll take a sweet time, but does not want to commit any further. Question is he in a good position or is he going to get stuck over here? Because rebros are slowly creeping in, and he might not just have enough time, but Sudhir in the meantime is just going to wait it out, and the zone is shrinking in. The zone is shrinking in.
Indeed, the zone is shrinking in, but again, look at high voltage. And Team Anam Lama Esports. MGXTH gets a knock on Tamang. Push gets a knock on Novi. MGXTH gets a kill confirmation. Look at Kukuri. They aren't going to stop. They're just going to take that advantage, Mamba. And holy moly, with the grenade. The Grenadier man, grenade launcher works for him as he gets 2 kills in his hands. A good kill steal indeed. Dikshant gets a kill confirmation on Shripach. Now 16 surviving, 16 players remaining. Another zone closing in. The 4th zone is about to close in as now the grenades are coming handy. There goes a grenade. Perfectly landed. Kokori Esports, you beauty. A grenade perfectly landing right. But Sudhir with a good trade. Grenade launcher coming up. Kokori didn't predict this. Didn't actually mean this to happen. But again, it has happened right. There comes a grenade. Oh, the glue wall on the perfect time. Kukuri versus Emily. It's grenade versus grenades battling it out in the end circle. Now, only 1 player remains from the side of Moonlight Esports as Puneet has rushed in. Gets a knock in the close range. Sassy Dawn. Is he going to complete the whole team of Kukuri Esports? Okay, Simon gets a recall. He gets a resurrection. But again, it's a 3-way frontal battle between Anam Lama Esports, Moonlight Esports, and Kukuri. Lone Wolves right now look peaceful as they also have the zone advantage with them, Mamba.
Well, Dishant in the meantime is just going to wait it out and see what happens. 3 teams, 8 players remaining. Anam Lama Esports once again with 17 kills. And I said 20 kills might be impossible, but they could potentially make it happen. If they do, that is going to be insane. But Kukuri Esports, they have the numbers advantage. They could take this away. The question is, are they going to be aggressive enough? Do they have what it takes to close this out? But thanks all. Just waiting it out. Rabbit in the meantime wants to push in. Has the woodpecker primed and ready. Lone Wolves being under constant pressure. Along with Anam Lama Esports who've been spotted as well. But I think ALE might, if they play smart, they could walk away with this.
Mamba, you talk about Lone Wolves, you talk about like Kukuri Esports. They have the zone right now, they have the man advantage. But what about Anam Lama Esports? Previously, even if they had 21 kills, they had the man advantage. But this time, they don't have it. And Kukuri Puneet, they're stealing out all the damage. Whereas Kanzo, with the last blow, gets Lone Wolves out of the game. Now it's a 4v2. Whereas Puneet is still not having the weapons with him. There goes the grenade launcher. A good damage coming up on Dikshant. KKR, Kukuri Esports is coming up in the open. Have they spotted the players? Yes, they have. As just one shot they need, and then the Moko ability comes into play. Rabin comes as a surprise, and that surprise is going to deal the last blow. With that, it's a booyah for Kukuri Esports. They had the man advantage. They just stayed at their positions. The zone worked out for them, and that's a booyah in the game number 7.
That is a booyah in game number 7, but Kukuri Esports, of course, coming out on top, there's no doubt, but you have to give it to Anam Lama Esports back-to-back being so consistent, so dominant. And it's just great to see the kind of aggression that they've shown and the kind of domination that they've shown. It goes on to show that these teams have a lot of potential. The region as a whole has a lot of potential, and we'll see where this takes us. But for now, Kukuri Esports coming out on top. Congratulations to them.
Well, yes, exactly, Mamba. As you pointed out, Anam Lama Esports had a lot amount of kills. And again, because of those kills, even if they are situated on the 2nd position, they couldn't get the booyah. But again, if you talk about the total points, they're going to be on #1. Again, they're going to have more points against Kukuri Esports. But for this time, Kukuri Esports is maintaining a good speed, a good strategy indeed to battle it out against Moonlight Esports, who are right now in the battle to be in the top 5. Whereas Anam Lama Esports, once again proving they are just being deadly. Once it was Vibros, and now you take the name of Anam Lama Esports.
Oh, absolutely. But look, I'll again say this one thing. This entire region has shown a lot of promise, right? You talk about teams, you talk about Nepsa, you talk about Sonora Gaming Esports. Team Reunite have been struggling, no doubt about that. But apart from that, every single team in all these groups, all the 3 groups that we have, even if you talk about Group C, right? T2K, they've been around for a while. But going back to Group A and Group B, that is what we have today, right? CHS, Shripach, Ek for Mercy, as a matter of fact, being so aggressive early on was great entertainment at least. But all in all, I'll just say this. All these teams are finally stepping up because they realize it's now or never.
Well, yes, exactly. Whereas if you talk about Shripach and Beck for Mercy, Mamba, they are picking up those initial fights. But when it's about maintaining that consistency, maintaining that pace, the momentum comes into play. Whereas Ali has got that momentum, Vibros has got that momentum. But teams like Kukuri Esports, even if they didn't have that momentum, they just favored the zone. Look, like it's 16 minutes past and Kukuri Esports had only 4 kills. Even if the game finished, they had around, 7 or 8 kills? But again, there's an MVP from this team. Kukuri Esports Rabin, the man with the grenade launcher. How can I forget this name? The man to deal the last blow with the grenade launcher and just making a surprise for Anand Lama. As they were expecting the players to come from the front, there comes a guy from the right hand side, and Rabin with 3 kills, 3 assists and 1473 damage on the board.
Well, great stats, I can tell you that for sure. But you look at game standings, even though Booyah went to Kukri, but Anam Lama Esports with 17 kills, they came out on top. All in all, 26 points secured. They got 33 points the last game. That's 59 points in 2 games. Imagine the average. That's almost an average for 30 points a game. It's incredible. But Kukri Esports coming out on top. MLE as well, playing really well. High voltage, consistent enough. Vibros, big for Mercy. But let's talk about the last 3 teams, right? NES, that's Nepstar Esports, Chandra Surya, and Team Reunite. A lot of struggles for them.
We discussed that in the previous game too, right? Vibros, Anam Lama Esports, high voltage. Even if they don't get these booyahs, even if they aren't consistent with their performance, all they need to get is 8 to 10 points in the game and they're all set. But again, I'm really amazed by the performance from Anam Lama Esports and Kukuri Esports taking up the charge. This is what I said, right? If Kukuri Esports now that they have got this game in their half, they have 3 booyahs. So they have a booyah advantage against Moonlight Esports. They are just 10 points away from them, even if they are 20 kills away from Moonlight Esports. So again, a good competition forming on the 4th and the 5th position, whereas the top 3 positions have already been booked, Mamba.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? Look at how dialed in they are. You look at high voltage, Anam Lama Esports, KKR. All of these players know that it's high stakes. And the problem is, even if you slip up for a moment, right, one mistake can cost you a lot. But I think that has changed, especially in this new meta where you can revive your teammates. With the revival system coming in, mistakes go less punished because you obviously have that way to bring your teammates back into the game. And before that, right, if you go back 6 months, that wasn't the case. And it was a completely different meta. You did not have a lot of leeway. But of course, with Alpine being added, I'm really excited.
Well, yes, it's the last game for the day, Mamba. And already we are like, the day is going to end. Well, it just started. The maps are going with so much easiness. The teams have been performing so beautifully. So today it was a day of enjoyment where each and every team showed their power. Even if they couldn't get their booyah, they showed why they are there in this competition, why they are amongst the top of the top teams, the top 18 teams you talk about, right? The top 18 teams of the country right now playing in the Free Fire Nepal Championship. Yes, they are proving themselves for it. Once again, now the map of the last game for the day, the map of Alpine begins. The plane path was right through the center, whereas we have CHS on the drop of Militia. Most of the zones will arrive on the drop of Militia. But now, as we see an initial fight cooking up, it's between Sonora Gaming Esports and High Voltage.
Well, Trapace in the meantime is going to heal himself, and he didn't even lose out on a lot of HP, right? But all in all, high voltage coming on top, starting off with this fight, being the kill leaders with 1 kill, and getting that first blood as well. But a minute and a half in, we've already lost out on players. A lot of hot drops coming in over here, and 3% I'll walk away with the free players there because Luffy from Lone Wolf did not have any weapons to work with, and he he bit off more than he could chew, and he's going to pay a price for it.
Well, they still go in, right? Even if they're going to pay a price for it, Mamba is the price of the last game. But again, you can't just go all in like this because right now, look at vBros. Been passive for 3 games back-to-back after we were done with the break. But now look at them. They're being aggressive from the first very fight. Already getting one of the first picks of the match. Shreepach is having a fight against Lone Wolves. Well, that's what we expect from Shreepach, right? But again, vBros now becoming aggressive. Yes, they're back in the last game of Alpine. Rohit gets 4 HP barely he had. But yes, makes the mark, climbs the window at the perfect moment. Now, Suman, you have been spotted, my boy. The whole team is going to rush inside the building.
Drago, in the meantime, just waiting it out, scouting the area. He knows there's nobody around, wanting to loot as quickly as possible. And that's what we call the vacuum cleaners, right? Especially when I play with my friends I know who are just going to go out and start looting whatever weapons they find. I nickname them vacuum cleaners because they don't leave any loot behind for you. And that's exactly what's happening over here. But once again, a 3-way fight, and Nama Esports, vBros, and Team Reunite might just go at it.
2 teams in front of each other, whereas Sumit already getting a kill confirmation. Mamba, the situation looks pretty much damaging for Chandrasurya Esports. As again, Chandrasurya Esports, Sanura Gaming Esports, nothing to lose. An initial fight in this match, an aggressive fight, and a treat to watch at this moment. The vehicles have been bursted. Hurry is on a good position where he has spotted all of those players. A surprise on Achieve. Achieve, where were you looking, my boy? Hurry comes from the left-hand side, gets a confirmation, and with that, a 1-minute elimination for Team Sanura Gaming Esports. 4 kills up on the chart, and KRS Chal is coming back to the game with the resurrection.
Absolutely, but you talk about Tope. In the meantime, he's just going to wait it out. And, well, he did get the knock. Doesn't need to finish it, right? Doesn't need to finish the player because he could get savage. He could get third party over there. He didn't realize that he confirmed that here. But if they just get out, the Raza going to break that blue wall because he wants more space to move around and rebrood.
Oh!
Bingo, look at the bait. Such a perfect bait. And the landmine find that pick.
Such a perfect landmine indeed. Raza was not even expecting the landmine to be there at that very position. But again, landmines need to be placed like that, right? And Supreme getting covered by all the 3 players like this, that's so bad and that's so brutal right now that just happened with Supreme. But again, indeed, you have the revivals coming in, you have the resurrections coming in. As Raza gets resurrected, all of the 4 players are once again reunited, as the name suggests, Team Reunited on the drop of Vantage. Whereas, look at vBros, a good decision from their side because the other 3 players are looking good on the side of Fusion, and now Supreme is also back to the fight. But Stalker is just lurking around, and he might have a fight against Neon because he's the last guy, and not the last guy, but really far from the team.
Really far from the team indeed, but here's the thing, right? Even if you're far away, as long as... So that's what you call the scout role. If you're going in for a long rotation, you want to have somebody who's up front, is clearing out the area, so he's finding the information that you need, and then you go out there and get all the information. But let's not also forget that Stalker had to go out there and help his teammates out. True, in the meantime, just waiting it out, rotating Chandrasurya Esports with 4 kills. How did they get these?
Chandrasurya Esports is so easy for them where they engage in this fight, get all those kills, and they maintain that power within themselves. But again, that's Navestar Esports for you, with the name, the man himself, Mamba, in their team. Mamba once again going in for the teammates, and KRS Chal won't leave the enemy team just like that. Gets a kill confirmation. Now Team Reunite will also come up in a fight against Team Anam Lama Esports. Is the drop of Vantage, where you have the blue tier loot. Now you have the fight once again beginning up. Quadra kill coming up for Hurry. 4 kills for Team Reunited as the player has been spotted. But who takes the first blow? The first blow has been taken. Sahil knows the position of his teammate. Sahil knows where all the 4 players are situated. So it's all in the hands of Sahil how MGXTHA gets saved.
Absolutely, but look at Sahil, he's still going to tap away. He doesn't want to stop. He wants to guarantee that kill. And Anam Lama Esports are not the ones who back out of the fight. They will go in. And Sahil, he has the XM1014 for close range battles as well. If he needs to jump down, he will. But MJ in the meantime with the Woodpecker, chipping away at the opposition, taking that damage, and might just get a kill. But looks like Sahil is going to switch with the XM1014. Will get a knock, needs to find the second kill as well,
Whoa!
which he does.
Beauty, beauty, beauty. Not stopping even for 1 second, Mamba. And once again, you have the name on the shot. Anam Lama Esports, high voltage. If they are present on the ground, they are going to deal those beautiful blows, those amazing blows. As Novi gets a knock on Superman, gets traded by MLE. Sasidon Sudhir with the Swag 7 gets a knock on Poison. Krepes with the trade gets a kill confirmation on Sudhir. Now 2 players remaining for HB. They are rushing in. They are all set to have that 2v2 battle. Blowing out all the glue walls present. He wants to revive his teammate with 7 kills in their hands.
Yeah, but Poison, look at him just waiting it out. Question is, what's going to happen now? Mamba, in the meantime, just hiding, just waiting. Kukri Esports, they don't have any kills to work with, but what they do have is all the players alive. So they could clear it off that way potentially, but for now, look at the zone. Forest Red. I think the zone will end up on Forest Red. That's my assumption. That's a hunch for me. There's no logical reasoning. Where do you think the zone will go?
Like between Rivermouth and Forest Red for me, because in the end, right now what the meta is looking like, it won't support most of the important covers. It would try to go in the open, but again, Forest Red, the position that Vibros have, Mamba, is the perfect position to be right now.
Well, I guess we'll find out. Only time can tell what's going to happen over there, but Kukri Esports are looking pretty strong to the position that they're in. Sure, they might not have any kills, but fairly confident. They're looking fairly comfortable. NES, in the meantime, oh my god, they're going to they will get eliminated early on itself, but Kukri, the amount of aggression they've shown, they've only received 1 kill. They've only been able to gather 1 kill, which is not the best of return on your investment, but Supreme in the meantime with that MP40 going at it. Doesn't want to slow down. Arjun finding a kill for himself as well. And XM1014 is such a unique weapon, right? I mean, sure, you have a lot of shotguns, but being able to use that rate of fire, especially while moving around, right, is something you can really abuse.
And when you talk about high voltage, Mamba, M1014 is also a great weapon, whereas it has a longer range than most of the shotgun. Once again, looking up to this fight, another team gets eliminated. Kukuri just up for fights back to back. And now they have Reperch in front of them. That's a good fight coming in front of them, as now KKR Simon back to back confirming 2 kills. One of the player gets taken down, but Tamang and Duke are the last 2 guys remaining. Whereas Simon gets a lot of damage. There comes the kill. There comes a knock on Simon, spotted right behind that glue wall. And again, gets knocked out. The zone is also coming in. Kukuri needs to move for the next zone. Will the guy be revived? Yes, Raven comes up on the right time. There goes a grenade, but no, grenade will land short. With that, another grenade on the glue wall. The glue wall gets demolished, but the Tamang gets another glue wall made for himself. Duke and Tamang still remaining. There was a big Jeopardy dealt in the name of Simon. Yes, the player has been confirmed. Now, if they get Shreepach at this moment, then going for the zone, they're going to be really happy. But if they don't get Shreepach right now, in these 30 seconds, Mamba, then zone is going to damage indeed. But again, going into the zone would be really a problem. And with that, Duke gets a knock on cancel.
Absolutely, but Puneet, again, just tapping away. He wants to get that kill. But Kangso will get taken down. KKR, Kukri Esports with 2 players alive. They could revive Kangso if they get an opportunity, but the problem is he's outside the zone, so no opportunities for them. Dada barely surviving, barely clinging on his life, will get taken down by Stalker. And the SKS coming out on top. Back for Mercy. Making sure they make the opposition back. Mercy, but rebros in the meantime, they don't want to fall back either. They want to play tactically. They want to go into the fight as well. But Cosmic will not let that happen. They will draw the line and he will not let them pass.
Whereas Mamba, we already know that most of the players going in for the SKS or the ACAT at this very moment, because even if you look for all of those teammates who play the sniper roles, again, they really need to cover the team. They really need to have those DMRs. But talk about DMRs, Drago is here with the grenades. The man with the grenades, the Grenadier himself gets a knock. Or Team B for him gets a knock on Cosmic. Goes in for Surfa. Surfa is half on HP. Kripes gets eliminated. Drago GRG gets his kill confirmed. Rohit gets a knock on Surfa, whereas a good trade coming in on Rohit. But that's an elimination. Drago GRG and Supreme with the swag 7, the bag 7. The team has been eliminated. Back for Mercy out of the game at the 6th position. And now Anam Lama Esports is dealing the blow on Team High Voltage.
Well, 12 minutes in, 13 minutes in, we still have 5 teams and 11 players. This time around, we have a lot of teams with not a lot of players to work with. And MJ will try keeping Lama's hopes alive, but they have 11 kills. Can he revive his teammate? Though yes, he will be able to revive his teammate. The grenade not dishing out any damage whatsoever. That's a problem. But MJ falling back. Sahil in the meantime will try to heal himself up. Has enough glue walls, has enough healing to make this work. And if Anam Lama Esports come on top of this one, this could potentially be the player of the game, the player of the day, the player of the match. Rohit in the meantime trying to frag onto Kukri Esports. The last player, that was Puneet, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was Puneet. But KKR being eliminated. We only have 4 teams and 9 players alive.
V-Bros, the name itself, Mamba. It's the day number 1 of a week, and how can they just remain in peace where they already have 2 booyahs in a day? They want third one at any cost. Lone Wolves, by any surprise, if they get a booyah, they also come into the race. So get a booyah and come into the race of being in the top 10 or come into the race of being into the top 6. Gets a chance for you. But again, now High Voltage, Anam Lama Esports, 1 player remaining. Whereas if you have... Oh! I just saw something, right? Anam Lama Esports, all 4 players surviving, and Poison. The players are... they're just gliding, and Poison not wanting for them to just drop down. Damage already up in the open. No guns for them, as they are still looking out for the help. They have the zone, but what is the zone for if you don't have the weapons ready for you, ready for you when it's about the last very circle?
Well, Rohit in the meantime will just be tapping away, but Anam Lama Esports losing on Big Sean. And with that, the hopes as well, probably, but Supreme will not hold back. He will try his best to get those kills. And Anam Lama Esports struggling to stay alive. Sahil taking so much damage, but Bros will not stop. They will not let this go. And Anam Lama Esports will probably be eliminated after this. But Bros with 12 kills this time around.
Wow!
Look at that. Look at that
Angle.
One wolf trying to stay alive, but the question is, will they be able to survive for long enough? But I think Bros are going to walk away with the booyah on this one.
Mamba, that's what we are looking out for. But again, V-Bros, they don't have the zone. And when you have the man advantage equal to one of the teams surviving, yes, they don't have the kills, and V-Bros have the momentum. But again, they need to rotate for the next circle, as already they have 5 seconds remaining. The last 2 zones, oh my god. Suman already getting confirmed. Now, there's going to be only 1 player surviving in the next circle, and that's going to the man himself, MJ. V-Bros are arriving with all the rolls. MJ takes the blowing vehicle inside the next circle, whereas Supreme already gets a knock on Luffy, and they're all up for 2-side battle. Shrank in the open, Drago with all the targets. Yes! Lone Wolves eliminated. MJ with a jeopardy, a 1v3 against Vibros. Can he do it? No, he won't be able to do it. Rohit with the M1887. This is the last blow. And with that supreme 8-kill MVP. Booyah for Vibros. 3 booyahs in a single day.
Well, 3 booyahs in a single day. Vibros will not slow down. They will not shut up. They will not want to kneel to any team on the server. Sure, we saw a bit of an Lama supremacy in the last 2 games with Vibros this time around, making a comeback, showing everybody who's the boss. And of course, getting all these points for themselves. So it's wonderful to see Mridul. These 2 teams, ALE and Vibros, just going out there and outclassing everyone.
Exactly, because at a time we had high voltage and Vibros, but now seeing the power that Anam Lama Esports have got, even if they are not getting booyahs today, we saw a really different Anam Lama Esports, right? Anam Lama Esports wasn't like this in the week number 1. They had a good momentum built on the day number 3, but now today you see them, they are just damaging, getting 15 plus kills. Hunters they are, and even if one player is surviving, he's just playing like a whole squad is remaining. One-man army, a perfect word for them.
Oh, absolutely a perfect word for them. But trust me, it leaves me speechless when I see performances like these, right? Because they have to pull it out of thin air. They have to make sure that they play every single card, right? And with 12 teams and 48 players, it's not easy to control all the variables. It's, as a matter of fact, it's impossible to control all these variables, but they do manage to get these results consistently, which is the only thing that matters, which is the most commendable thing, the single most commendable thing that these 2 teams have been doing. So props to them. High voltage, you can't miss out on high voltage. But Tree Patch today has been surprising. They've definitely caught my eye with the way they've played.
Well, the most amazing things, the most beautiful things happen in the most beautiful championships and the amazing championships. Well, this is Free Fire Nepal Championship, a young region indeed, whereas we have the YouTube channel of Free Fire Official Nepal. So guys, make sure you subscribe the channel and just be connected with all the updates that is coming up for this very region. We saw Free Fire Nepal Invitational, how teams have qualified from that to the Free Fire Nepal Championship, and again, how they have been performing in the Free Fire Nepal Championship. So yes, stay connected, subscribe, and press the bell icon for all the latest updates. Whereas, like, Free Fire is bringing up so many good championships for us today, as we see the young talents playing it all out. 6 games, Mamba. What we saw, Vibros were really good with aggression and passiveness, but again, it was the game number 8 where they wanted to show how exactly they play.
Well, Rocket, in the meantime, getting those important kills for his team. But Kukri Esports, right, they played their hearts out. They made every single possible decision and make it right. But at the end, it just wasn't enough, and they got taken out by Vibros as well, right? They had so many moments where they could have been taken out, but Supreme showing a lot of character, a lot of discipline, and getting all these important kills. So I would definitely hand it out to Vibros for handling it to perfection individually, but as a unit as well, they have a lot of discipline, which is great to see in such a young region.
Look at Supreme. Once again, proving it right. A young region, that's what you talk about. A young talent coming up in front of us. Supreme with 8 kills, assists to 2,045 damage with 3 headshots, 1 revival, and 0 revival members. 8 kills. Whereas the team is already having a lot of kills, but this player plays the best role. Look at that. If you get a booyah, you get it with style. And that is what we know Team Vibros for. 29 points from a single game, again making a lot of damage on the overall leaderboard, overall standings, and again the top 3 teams are in the top 3 as the game number 8 has ended.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But Vibros with 444 points. It's unbelievable. It's goddamn believable to think that some of these teams might have had more than 100 points each day. Vibros and Amlama Esports, high voltage being left behind just because of 2 games. And yeah, that made all the difference in the world. Look at the amount of kills they had, just 5 kills short of Vibros, and a lot more consistent to think of it. Because look, if they had 2 more booyahs, they would have taken over Vibros. And who would have thought that on day number 1, the way Vibros played? Nobody could have thought that Anam Lama Esports might be able to make a comeback of this magnitude.
Well, yes, exactly. And whereas it was high voltage at one time, now you have another name, Anam Lama Esports, just like 20 points behind Vibros. That's not a lead that Vibros once had after the week number 1 ended. But again, it was the day number 3 where teams stopped Vibros from getting the booyah, stopped Vibros from getting kills. And that's how we have high voltage and Anam Lama Esports with more number of kills. 84 kills for a single player. Sahil with 29 kills today, 27 for Deekshant and 23 for MJ.
Oh well. But individually, right? Sahil, Dikshant and MJ, all of these players, they've played really, really well. Like, there's no doubt about that. And I'm not surprised why, the top 3 players are from the same team itself, because you saw the amount of kills they got. 21 and 20 kills, if I'm not mistaken, in those 2 games. I'm not quite sure of the second one, but 21 kills for sure. And a game is a lot of kills. 17 kills. And Ebro is getting 3 booyahs for themselves. Anam Lama Esports, on the other hand, getting 2 for themselves. Kukri getting 1. Teams reunite, and high voltage as well. Just making sure that everybody knows that they are on the server and they will not be walking away from a fight if the need be.
Indeed, quite shocked that Team Reunite did have a booyah today, because in the end, once again, even if you get a booyah Mamba, you need to be consistent. When you are having 8 long games, it's all about consistency, how you maintain it throughout the 3 days. Well, talk about our social media handles. Make sure you follow Free Fire Official Nepal on Facebook and Instagram, as is about that we take a leave for today. Mamba, it's been a great day, and we saw some amazing action from the Nepal Championship, from these young talents from this young region.
Oh, absolutely. But make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you guys follow all the social media handles and hit that red subscribe button if you haven't already, because there's going to be a lot of action and a lot of drama and a lot of entertainment. But until tomorrow, it is going to be Mridul and Mama signing off.